Ivor remembers some information about them and gives them a fist bump. We find out before we actually do the heist, we need to get a hold of a key mold, schematics, and we need to bribe the proper guard. So just get information on them, figure out who'd be the most amenable to taking some money to avert their eyes for a while. And also talked a bit about a secret passage. We decide we'll handle bribing the guard and trying to get the schematics, while After Hours works on securing the key mold. We made a new magic item for Ivor, and found out a lot more information about the Illithid ring. And we also found out about Blinky, which might be something we have to deal with in the future.
I forgot about Blinky.
As did I.
Blinky the Pac-Man ghost.
And we also did a bit of debating and talking about whether or not we should hand over the ring as a trade for the schematics, because it is a very powerful thing. And I think we came to the decision that giving it to two races who are famous for hating illithids would be a good way to keep it safe and not put a target on us. And I think that's where we left off.
Alright, I think that is basically what we had done. It is currently... it is currently 11th, or the 11th of winter at 7 a.m. What does everyone want to do? I think we were just kind of passing some downtime as things were happening.
Yeah, I think we were.
I know that Ivor, I think they were planning for you to speak to the noble family.
I am waiting for Diddy to get back to me with information concerning the specific individual who was interested in buying some stuff and things, so that way I could kind of get a bead on what sort of conversation he would be most responsive to. Trying to basically understand, is he snooty? Is he crass? Is he, what kind of person he is, so that way I know how to talk to him. And also, she is, she is also out, basically affirming interest and setting up the details of the meet.
Yeah.
So I think I'm waiting on her to come back and tell me when it's going to be, and also the nature of the guy that I'm going to be speaking with.
And I think you were planning to speak with Mormuck as well, the guard, right?
Yes, at some point. I don't know if that had been... Yeah, I don't know if the time frame had been ironed out on that, but absolutely, yeah. That's definitely one of the things that I need to do, is speak to him and basically ask him how much money it would take to change his life.
Alright. So, Diddy says, I do know where he lives, but he also frequents a tavern. We just have to decide where we want to approach him, if we want to do it in his home or just kind of in a tavern somewhere and talk to him in private. What do you think? What would work better for you? Or do you have a preference?
Well, my gut tells me that meeting in a tavern is less likely to draw attention. If it's some place that he frequents, it would not be unusual for him to meet somebody new there.
No, not really. He talks to people all the time there. I mean, we can also try to have a encounter in the street, but yeah, I think the tavern or the house would be the best two spots.
Very well.
Alright. So we're pretty much ready to do that whenever. We just have to be careful not to annoy him or not to be overheard.
Roger that.
So if you are ready, I can try to set that up today while we wait for my rumors of you to circulate a little bit more as the pitch fires try to find you.
I think today would be a good day for it. Just let me know when you have set it up so that way I can perhaps attempt to utilize some magical encouragement from my companions in order to improve my conversations.
Very well. Do any of the rest of you need help with anything you're working on?
Did you just say the pitch fires?
Yeah, that was the name of the family, the Pitch Fire.
Okay.
Because he pitched in with the fire giants.
Hey!
Hey. So yeah, Gears has been kind of helping out all the crafting that people are doing. Do you all have projects you're working on right now?
I'm looking at some things and debating.
Okay.
I think I was brewing another potion of protection for our stash.
I think
Okay.
that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Alright, so for today, you said you wanted to meet Mormuck in the tavern, right?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so it's probably about 1 o'clock in the afternoon when Diddy says, we're pretty much ready to go. He is going to be there for a couple of hours if you're ready to talk to him. This one... Wait, did I say this one worked the morning or the evening shift? I'm blanking.
Evening, or he works the morning. We can catch him after shift at the bar.
That's right.
He is on the 6 a.m. to noon shift.
Okay. So yeah, she or he or they say we have a bit of a window now. He just got off his shift and he's going to be drinking for a few hours before he goes to bed.
Very well. Professor, I think you were interested in seeing the town a little bit. Would you be averse to accompanying me on this journey? Such that I might have your magical encouragement?
Yes, of course. I'll be happy to come. Should the others come as well? I can cast seeming on anyone who wants to go.
You two need some sneaky accompaniment.
Right.
Last time there were giants.
If yeah, I guess Baker will come along. Yeah.
We've been trapped down here for several days, so
I could use me some
I think
brandy.
perhaps Auntie and I could sit a little bit separate from you, come in a little bit separate from you, and not call attention to ourselves, but I could avail you of my magics before we go.
I think that sounds like a capital idea.
Yeah, if we're going to do any casting, we should do it now before we get up there.
How long do you think the walk is?
It's not too long. It's about 20 minutes without trouble.
Very well. Then if you advise that we cast before rather than later, then we should do that, and that will give me then approximately still 40 minutes on enhanced ability before it runs out.
She nods. She says, there's just less chance of being noticed down here. And yes, any of you are welcome to come. Just make sure you stay back during the interactions. I don't want to spook this guy.
Yes, of course. So I will cast seeming. I'll just cast it on all of us, because even if Beldani and Donnie and Thea, are you coming with us or no?
I'm okay. He's reading the book on magic items right now.
Okay.
And
I will cast it on you as well, though, just in case.
Can you
and
make
I'll
me
make
a
us-
crotchety old woman dwarf so that I can behave as I wish to behave in the tavern?
Sure. Yeah, I'll make you and I sort of female civilian type dwarfs. I will make. I will take pains to make Ivor look like the dwarven equivalent of Ivor, in that he's sort of nondescript, a little sneaky, sort of debonairly handsome, but not particularly memorable as far as being able to be a spy.
What did he
Um,
look like? Oh, he looked like a fucking dwarf.
Average dwarf. And I will make Theo very memorable indeed. I'm going to give him an extra big nose and a big wave of silver hair.
All right, fair enough.
I look even more like a mad genius.
I will actually be back in just a couple of minutes. I had somebody stopping by much earlier than I thought they would be. So if there's something else that can happen, that is ideal. But I'll be back as soon as I can.
I do remember what I was going to do. End of last week, I was going to start working on a pair of sending stones.
All right.
Because I made Ivor's helmet. Faith is making potion that takes weeks, so I still have floating days.
All right.
They're uncommon, so 2.5 days, 100 gold.
Yeah, and some sort of special ingredient thing. Let's see. Sending stones. Oh, also I noticed, Zalia, your I don't know, your mic sounds a little bit different to me. I don't know if anyone else noticed that.
It's louder and
clear.
better than normal. Yeah.
She's been clear to me, and she hasn't had any of the like static where she comes and goes like before.
Oh, maybe I just need to turn her down because it sounds
Maybe.
really loud to me. That might be it. All right, I'll just.
I turned everything down, but that's because I have a throbbing headache.
All right, we'll turn that down a little.
Let me know if it still sounds funny.
No, it definitely sounds better now. This is called Sending Stones.
Yeah, I really dislike they can only be used once a day.
Still good for, some messages without using spell slots.
Yes, third level spell.
Not messages, message.
Well, yeah, some communication without daily communication without spell slots isn't without value.
Yep, that's pretty good.
And 25 words, I think.
Okay, here they are. For some reason, they weren't coming up in the in-game compendium.
So I'll be casting Enhance ability on Ivor, but I'm going to wait till the very last minute before we leave.
Okay.
And tongues.
While we're at it, why don't I just go ahead and put Longstrider on him as well, so he's prepared for anything? I was just looking to see if I had anything that lasted more than 10 minutes.
And water breathing, why not?
In case he gets dumped in a barrel of ale.
Right?
Alright, and the group currently converted all their essence. They don't have any, right? That was what we had said last time.
We have a few, because we started labeling it after we...
Yeah, we've killed some things since the great crafting.
Yeah, I still have to speak to you about possibly turning some of your components back into essence. Because you had mentioned you might want to do that to make up for the fact that the rules changed a bit. We can speak after the game, but for now, why don't we just say it's an extra 100 gold pieces of components. Which
So
could
100
be
gold plus 100 of GP. Or components.
components, yeah. Just it would have been essence, but we'll just say an extra 100 of components.
I think we had already subtracted that this week, hadn't we?
For the sending
Oh.
stones?
I think you subtracted mine. I don't know if you did for what
That was
Theo's
for
working on or
Ivor's
not.
helmet.
Yeah, that's for the helmet,
Okay.
I thought.
I thought we did 2 things, but maybe it was those 2
Well,
things.
you did.
Okay.
You did the stuff for the potion that Betha is brewing, I think.
Yeah,
Yes.
it was
Okay, so
it was the potion.
it was
yeah.
100 in alchemical or arcane?
I think it was 100 arcane and 100 of the Ramaraz essence that you used, if I remember
Oh yeah.
right.
So I did take that off
Yeah,
already.
yeah. So this would be 100, and then yeah, you can just use 100 extra components, and yeah, we'll figure out essences later for this
Okay.
group. All right, so you're starting that project now, Theo.
Sure.
All right, Gears is willing to help you out with that. Do we have an Ivor back yet?
Not yet.
Okay. So, I guess I could just have the group start heading up, and the others within the tavern can do some interactions if you want. Ivor would step away as Diddy brings him over to speak with the guard. So what do the rest of you want to do?
To walk up here to the Cap Tavern, how much of it was underground versus like above ground?
This is all below ground. This is all within the mountains.
No, I know that, but I meant
Stay in the tunnels.
We're in the tunnels.
Yeah.
How much is it? How much of the walk was like in the city above?
He or did he use the tunnels for most of the trip? He then
So
kind
I
of.
would have waited until we were about to go above before I cast my 2-hour-long spells.
Okay. Your seeming and then your.
No, seeming is 8 hours, so that one's fine. The enhanceability and the tongues.
Okay. So then you would cast that around 115. We'll say.
Okay.
And just because I have nothing else to do, I go ahead and put aid on us for 8 hours, and then the long strider on Ivor for an hour. At the same time, Zaylee adds her hour-long spell.
All right.
Okay, and I also would have cast Rary's telepathic bond before we left the group. So I would have done seeming and Rary's on our whole group.
We've got we've got everything up.
Diddy's waiting there, tapping her foot, like get it all out of your system. Do all your magic now. So
Did you
get.
include her in the bond?
That's a really good question. Wait, I'll just cast Rary's when we at the same time that I do enhanceability and tongues. So it'll just be me, Betha, Ivor, and Diddy.
Okay. So you get all of your spells cast as Diddy leads you out of the underground tunnel in a more abandoned area of the city. You then walk a few blocks. And this part of the Dwarven city seems like it has more people in it. The middle area that you're in. You see the massive structure that is north of you. It's situated within a large cave, but it looks like it's about 40-ish feet tall. And the smaller buildings around it only reach like 10 to 20 feet, so it kind of towers over everything. You are led into the tavern, where there's a bunch of Dwager. They're all sitting around discussing things as the barmaids go to and fro bringing food and drink. Diddy kind of motions Fiol to sit down as she brings... So she or they, I don't know. As they bring Ivor over to the table to the north where you see the dwarf guard sitting. So what do you all want to do while you wait for Ivor to have his discussion?
So, are we gonna go in? Do you think, Betha, or after?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Do you think we go in ahead of them or after them?
I'd say after. We want him to get as much time as he can with his spells.
Okay. So, I think we'll just wander
Give
in.
it 5 or 10 minutes, yeah.
Do you speak Dwarvish?
I do.
So, we're like two little old ladies, I guess. Like, and so I said, you can't sell me tea at that price. Yeah, so we'll just go coming in, chatting, and being very in character. Not at all suspicious.
You're speaking Dwarvish.
Yeah.
All right.
And
You go ahead.
does this look like the sort of place where there's wait staff, or do we need to belly up to the bar?
Yes, there are some Dwager moving around and bringing drinks. What you believe, well, it looks like a younger woman walks up to the table and she says, good evening, friends. Welcome to the tavern. She's speaking Dwarvish. She says, what can I get you all? It sounds like you're interested in some tea, maybe? Something to eat?
No tea for me. I'll take the good stuff, please.
She says,
Food would
What?
be delicious. What sort of food have you got?
oh, well, we have a couple of different things. There are spider legs. There's some surface food, more of the like goat stew. There's some fried beetle. By the way, if I could ask, Miss, where's your accent from? She says to you, Betha. I don't think I've heard an accent like that.
Well, I've traveled a lot and picked up some different inflections, and bit of a mix of everything, I'd say.
Give me persuasion or deception, your choice. Because either could be
will-
applicable here.
I will use an inspiration. And I am sorry,
Okay.
my dog is hiding under the couch and I can't take that toy away from her. I don't know if it's coming through my mic, I assume
A little bit. It's fine though.
Alright, let's see, deception. Okay, they're the same, so here it is.
She says, "Huh. I hope when I'm older, I get the chance to travel and get some accents. That must be pretty cool. But yeah, let me get your order in. Sorry, what did you say you were having?
I'll take some of that goat stew, I think.
All right, and you, miss?
I can't remember the things that you said except for the bugs, and I don't want those. So
The bugs, the spider legs, and like the goat stew, and probably mutton. Although I think mutton is goat, right?
Sheep, yeah.
yes,
Sheep. Yeah.
cheap. Yeah.
No.
Have you got any
Because
cheese?
Teas? Oh yes, we have a couple. We have, and she starts listing off teas, black root, yada yada.
6 of the cheeses come from bugs.
Just some bread and cheese would be lovely, and cider if you have any, or ale.
Did you say cheese or teas?
Teas, I think.
Cheese.
Oh, cheese?
Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought.
I thought I heard teas.
I don't know. I just figured it was like gross cheese. Cheese.
Oh, okay. So yeah, she lists a few cheese, and none of them sound too familiar to you. I guess.
It's all better than
Going
like,
underground and asking for specialized dairy products.
Everybody has cheese, dude.
It's true. Everyone.
Some people
Well,
call things cheese that aren't.
actually, I don't know if cheese is like as prominent over in like in real life
Well,
anyway.
like-
But sure, there's cheese. Sure, we'll say there's cheese.
Well, they probably have like mushrooms and root vegetable type stews and things, right? Because
Oh yeah,
grow
the-
well in caves.
there's actually a decent number of things on the menu. I just didn't feel like generating them all on the spot, but there's probably some kind of cheese you can get. So she takes your orders
some sort
and
of cheese then.
yeah, she takes your. Or go ahead.
Yeah, no, you're fine. Good.
I was just going to say she takes your orders, smiling, and says, "I'll be right back with your food." So you are sitting here for a bit as Ivor has gone over to talk to the guard. Does anyone want to do anything, or should I just wait for Ivor?
Should we shift the camera back to Theo?
Theo, you are kind of hanging out in the lab, getting your things together for your new project. Gears is probably helping you. She's always happy to hang out. She's been very interested in hearing about some of your adventures.
Oh, any questions she asks, Theo would answer back enthusiastically. Chevreau, I think, is with us too, or at least he's back at the base, I think.
Yes, he is in the base. He's been fascinated with some of the books and the planning that is being done by Rando. So he's been kind of reading through that stuff and looking at some schematics of the city and just kind of involving himself in some of those plans.
Wonderful.
He helps out with things that you're doing every now and then.
So, Gears, what are some tinkerings you're very proud of so far?
He says, most of my tinkerings are devices to help me get through locks and traps. I haven't built anything that large. Most of my study is used in our craft together. I was never very good at all the stuff Dad did, building complex machines. I was always better at taking things apart than putting them together.
Taking things apart is how we figure out a lot of previous cycles' inventions, and probably wouldn't be anywhere near as far if we didn't have people who are good at taking things apart.
He says, yeah, I would take things apart too much sometimes. Dad would get mad at me on occasion for taking things apart I shouldn't have. But, yeah.
I still get in trouble with the guild quite often because first intentions usually take something apart, figure out how it works so we can make more.
She says, exactly. That's the fun part, seeing how things work.
Any chance you have an all-purpose tool?
Do I have an all-purpose tool, she says, mocking you a little. She says, of course I do. And she brings it out.
Big grin on Theo's face. Well, I was going to say if you didn't have one, we could work on making one real quick, but you're already pre-equipped.
She says, no, they do come in handy.
Have mine pop out of my fake arm.
Oh. She says, well, mine doesn't do that. That's neat.
I lost my arm in an experiment. Luckily, was able to make a better one.
She says, yeah, I was going to ask about it, but I didn't want to be rude. I'm not sure if asking about exploded limbs is taboo.
Finding out how it happens is a good way to avoid it happening to you. I have been dabbling with trying to make something where normal folk would have an easier time defending themselves against bigger threats. Right now, farmers and everything kind of at the whims of powers that be unless a ragtag group comes along and decides to help them. And was very interested in making something to help them out before I got dragged into the adventurer life. Now, spend most of my time trying to stay alive instead of focusing on that.
She says that's an interesting drive or I don't know, goal, I guess. She says, is it a good idea to give farmers power? I mean, it feels like they wouldn't use it safely.
I think that goes a lot more into the debate. Is it good to give anybody power? All of us are corruptible. All of us can be good. It's
She says, I don't mean corrupt per se. I just mean like, well, they might not. like understand how to use it and hurt themselves, because magic and technology. She says, well, I mean, look at my dad. He was heavily trained and he killed himself trying to experiment. I don't know. I don't always have faith in people who don't know much about magic to wield such things.
Great part about it, it had zero magic involved. Just using some basic ingredients that are around to make explosive effects.
Oh, well, that's neat.
But chances were likely it would blow up on people, hence my arm and why I went back to the drawing board.
So it's like some kind of alchemy creation?
Yes, it relies heavily on alchemy for the ability to make the projectile move, but other than that was a whole lot of engineering and reinforcing.
So yeah, I know the basics of alchemy, but it's not something that Dad taught me a lot about.
Honestly, I got my start with alchemy by going in the woods and eating things. Don't recommend it, though.
Says, yeah, that sounds like it could be dangerous. I assume you knew what you were eating.
Nope.
Oh, well,
just
that can be very dangerous.
I had a cleric buddy at the time.
Well, I suppose that helps. She smiles. What is your passive insight again, Theo?
Absolutely crap. I think like 12.
Okay. So she changes the subject and says, so who are you giving the sending stones to? Those can be very useful.
I was thinking about giving one to you, if you would like to stay in communication after we handle this job.
You mean with you?
Well, yes, I would hold on to the other stone.
Says, yeah, no, I would like that.
Can tell just by meeting you have a bright mind, and it's very nice getting to talk to you, so it would be nice to be able to keep that up after all this is over.
She would blush a little. Give me an insight check.
Theo, he's got one in every port.
If it's that kind of topic, I think his insight would be a disadvantage, honestly.
Sure. Oh. Yeah, you get a little bit of a hint that she might be kind of into you.
Theo blushes too. And then just kind of like looks back at his work like, oh shit.
Yeah,
what you do now?
Well, anyway, yeah, I would love to have the stone. Yeah, let me go check on papers, and she walks away.
Papers.
Yep.
And she goes and starts shuffling some papers around, like looking up and seeing if we're still watching
The
her.
socially awkward bachelor.
Do we have an Ivor yet?
Affirmative.
Sweet. Alright, so Ivor.
Thank fuck the telepathic bond wasn't going. I would have gotten, oh shit, help!
Panic!
Ivor, I need lines!
Help me out, Ivor. So Diddy led you all to the city area. Some of your friends sat down at a nearby table, and Diddy would point out the guard sitting over by himself, talking to a few, maybe other guards, you're not sure, but she says, he is the one you need to talk to. He's not expecting you, as I had not approached him yet, but yeah, that's your target.
You saying that out loud or in
Oh,
my head,
if
or
you,
just your
so if you gave...
I did.
Okay, if you gave him that ability, he would definitely do it in your head.
And this is
Just the Ivor?
Ivor, yeah.
that was Diddy is the one who said that.
Yes.
Okay, and this gentleman. Okay, no, so he doesn't know. Okay, so it's the fire people who do know about me.
Yeah.
This guy doesn't. We just know about him. Okay.
She says, I would suggest trying to get him alone somehow, although I don't know how you want to handle it, but Yeah, you want to get him alone, and I think he will be susceptible to a bribe if you offer him, something good. Just don't piss him off.
Right. And you said he's currently sitting next to some other guards.
Yeah, there's probably 2 other guards there. They're laughing and talking. You assume they're guards. They could be friends of his.
Okay.
You don't know if it's the same guards or... Yeah, you don't actually know if they're guards. They're just people he's talking to.
Okay. Wait 1 second here. Okay. Does it look like are they drinking anything?
Yeah, they're probably drinking and eating a bit. Maybe having lunch.
Okay. Is it clear what what's his name? Mordic?
Mormuck.
Mormuck, yeah. Is it clear what Mormuck is drinking, or just that he has something?
What's your perception?
Terrible. Yeah, it's 10.
It's hard to say. He just has a glass of something. I mean, you could get closer and try to take a look.
Beth and I are sitting at a different table from you, but we are in there as well.
Yeah.
Okay. And am I currently sitting, or have I just walked in?
So basically, you walked in. Diddy kind of walked off to the side and is kind of looking at the menu on the wall right now as she mentally communicated with you. You would see the 2 ladies sit down, and a server is talking to them currently. So you kind of just walked in, and
Okay.
you've been staying in the middle of the room for a couple of seconds, looking around maybe.
Okay. So you mentioned that there is a server talking to the ladies, so I will gather that. Is there are there hosts, or do you just sit where you want?
Yeah, so it looks like hosts are going to and fro. Generally, well, actually, I guess you wouldn't know much about what's expected, but it looks like when Betha and Zalia came in, they just sat down. It doesn't look like there's anyone bringing people to tables, so you assume you could just sit somewhere.
Excellent. Is there a table that is free nearby Mormuck and his friends?
It's fairly crowded. There's the bar that's kind of near them, but there are people sitting at the bar. The tables are mostly taken, the ones that are closer to the kitchen, which is where he is.
Okay.
Some of the outer tables are free, but those are not close to him.
Okay. So I will go and I will go and take a seat at the bar, as close to Mormuck's table as I can.
Okay.
And I will wait for the bartender to have a free moment.
All right. So the bartenders tend in bar as they do. He comes over to you after maybe a minute or two and says, "Sorry, friend. It's been pretty busy. What can I get for you?"
No rush at all. No rush at all. I'm quite new to the city. I was hoping that you could tell me what is the best thing on the menu to eat and also to drink.
He says, yeah, I kind of noticed a bit of an accent on you. Where are you from, if you don't mind me asking? You from up or down?
Oh, down. I heard that up is actually off limits at the moment.
He says, yeah, I don't know, something's going on in the southern part of the city. There's some commotion down there. The giants are in a frenzy. It's a bad place to be right now. Probably good that you came from below. As for what's good, and he just starts listing some drinks and some foods, which I will not make up on the spur right now because I was terrible at it before.
Yeah,
there were spider legs. Just saying.
Spider legs.
That is 100% something they would legitimately eat.
Yeah, spider legs, fried bugs, stuff.
I'm eating cheese with ash in it, apparently.
Yeah, Cave and fire giants.
Honestly,
Ashen
I thought you said tea. I said so. I thought that was ashen tea, but sure, we could say it's ashen cheese. That makes sense
They
too.
do
Ash.
put ashen cheese. Actually, I've had.
Yeah, there
in the
is.
past,
Oh, there
so
we
it's all
go.
good.
I
There
meant
is.
so exactly. I meant to do that.
There is a pure black cheese that isn't bad.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. What are you thinking?
no, of course, not knowing what is actually on the menu, but if he has, I will assume that he has just like a house ale or something like that.
Yeah.
And if there is like bread, cheese, and
The house ale, Storm Shroom Ale. Yeah, we got plenty of house ale.
sounds good. I'm always about a good ale. And if you've got like some bread, some cheese, some meat, like a little bit of each maybe would be good.
He nods. He says, "Yeah, I think I got a good spread I can get you." So since we aren't doing upkeeps down here, he would say it'll be a gold piece for everything.
Oh, thank you very much. And I will give him. I'll give him 1 gold, 1 silver.
He gives you a nod and gets your stuff all set up. You have a nice little platter of what'd you say, bread?
Bread, cheese, and meat.
Yeah, so you got a nice little charcuterie board with with a big old tankard of ale.
Excellent. For the moment, I will just enjoy my meal while I attempt to listen in, if I can, on the conversations that Mormuk and his friends are having, so I can kind of wait for an appropriate inn.
All right. So you're kind of listening while you eat your cheese. Did you say you made him handsome?
Vaguely handsome, not like movie star good looks, but
All right, so somewhat handsome. Okay. So give me a d20 roll. Roll for complications. All right. So it's actually pretty quiet. A couple of people are near you, but no one actually approaches you. After a while, you would see they're getting pretty close to the end of their meal. He's down to his drink, and they just kind of have their scraps left as they continue drinking. One of them leaves. The other two are still sitting there. We'll say it's been about... Hang on a sec. It's been about 20 minutes. So it's about 1:35 right now.
Okay. Very well. And have they said anything? Has the anything particularly interesting over the course of their conversation?
So give me a perception check. Let's see how much you've heard of their conversation as you attempt to listen in. So you're getting a couple of words here and there. You think that his buddy is having some lady issues, and he's trying to give him advice on, how to deal with them. Mostly, nothing important. Definitely nothing important to you or anything I think you'd be interested in. He's giving him very bad advice, by the way, as you listen.
Mormuk is giving his friend bad advice, or his friend is giving him bad advice?
Mormuk is giving his friend bad advice. His friend is having the lady issues. He's like, yeah, no, I should definitely fight her on that one. That sounds like a good idea.
Okay. We'll suppose...
she's a dwarven woman.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, we'll suppose that I'm at the tail end of my meal as well. I will trouble the barkeep for one more. Actually, 3 ales.
Did you
if I
give the
could.
barkeep a name?
No.
Okay. He probably wouldn't ask for one. But he would say, "Oh yeah, sure, yeah, buddy, I can get you 3 ales. Yeah, one sec." He goes and fills up some more mugs.
Time has passed through.
I think you said
It,
it's been about 20 minutes.
yeah, it's been about 20 minutes since you arrived at the tavern, so it's like 1:35 right now. So yeah, 3 more ales will probably be like 5 silver.
Okay, easily done. I will give him 6.
Or wait, I guess ales are usually more expensive. Probably like another gold piece.
Okay. 1 gold, 1 silver then.
Alright, he says, "I appreciate you, bud. What's your name, by the way? I keep calling you bud. I should learn your name if you're going to be new in town for a while."
Ah, yes, of course. My name is Trauban.
Says, "Trabon, well met." And he gives you a name, which I'm not going to generate right now.
Sure.
I'm Gorgok. There, I made one up. He
There it
says,
is.
"Good to meet you, Trarbon." Trarbon?
Close enough for me, yeah.
I may have been taking a little bit of my own, drinking too much of my own ale. Alright, well, have a good evening. If you need anything else, just let me know.
Thank you very much. I'll take my ales and I'll approach Mormuk and his friend, and I'll say, "Good afternoon, my friends."
Alright, they eye you a bit curiously as you sit down and,
I haven't sat down yet.
just approaching.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be like I sit where I fucking want, but I do have 3 ales in hand and standing there saying good afternoon.
So, Mormuk looks up. He didn't even notice you come over. He says, hey there. Can I help you?"
Oh yeah, pardon the interruption. My name is Trauban. I'm new to town, and I'm trying to make connections. And I was sitting nearby, couldn't help but overhear your conversation, and thought I might be able to offer some advice. I am somewhat reasonably experienced in matters of love, you see, and well, while I was looking to make friends, it seemed like there was no better friend to be made than one who could use some advice.
Give me a deception first. Okay. Now give me a persuasion check.
Yes.
24. So he is a little bit off put at first, but when you start talking about advice, he says, "Yeah, sure. Why don't you have a seat, friend?" He says,
Thank you very
it's
much.
new experience for me, but I'm always happy to have a conversation with someone about matters of the heart. I'm guessing you overheard our little chat."
Oh, just a little bit, yeah, you know. And I must say, it used to be an odd thing for me as well to be having conversations with strangers. But you travel enough, and you have to. Well, everybody's a stranger if you travel enough. But yeah, I overheard you talking about love and this and that, and I says to myself, you know what? That's a thing I know a thing or two about.
He nods. He says, "So you say you travel. I was about to say you got a bit of an accent. Where are you from?"
Oh, down below.
You're speaking
You know.
Dwarvish, right? I assumed. Okay.
Yep. Dwarven via tongues.
Okay. He says, yeah, that's, I don't get as many from down below these days. Where exactly you from? Maybe I'll know it. He says, I used to be from down below."
Ah, yes. Well, truth be told, I've been on the road for so long, there's no one place that I really call home anymore.
He says,
I make my way going from place to place, buying interesting things, selling interesting things.
Merchant, life on the road. That sounds like a lot of fun. He says, what I do isn't nearly as interesting, but, it's needed. So, what sort of things you selling? Just out of curiosity.
Well, I've got all sorts of things. Some of them are, plain and simple. We got like clothes, daggers, a couple armors and this and that. I sell some very interesting books and things as well. I even have some inks for the magically inclined, but they are not as common as you might hope. That is maybe one of my not so good investments. I says to myself, "Oh, inks are expensive. People will buy inks," and turns out nobody knows how to do magic. So, joke's on me.
As well, there are certainly some who would. That's curious. And he, as he starts to talk more, his buddy's like, "Mormuck, the man said he had some advice for me. Why don't we talk about that?" He says, "This is serious." Mormuck's like, "Oh, fine, I guess. I was just trying to get to know him a bit. All right, let's talk about your issues some more." So we don't have to role play that conversation, but I assume you're gonna try to weigh in on what's going on and give some advice.
Yeah.
Give me a persuasion check. Oh. So you apparently give some good advice. Mormuck is not agreeing with you. He's like, no, you gotta be more. I don't know if I agree with that. What did you say your name was? Sorry, I don't think we even asked. He says, "I'm Mormuck, by the way, and this is Borshneg."
Mormuck, it is a pleasure to meet you. Borshnek, or you said Borshnek?
Borshneg.
Borshnek. A pleasure as well. I did say
hand.
it, but it was brief. My name is Trauban.
Trauban, well met. That's a fine dwarven name. Your family must be proud. But he says, "Yeah. Anyway, I don't know. I think he should be more firm in this with his lady. I think I don't know if he should be so easy going on this issue." Says,
you know I think it just depends on the lady. Some ladies like it this way, some ladies like it that way. I think maybe for your lady, you are probably right. But I think maybe for Gorshnek's lady, I think that on this one, anyway, I think maybe I might be right. Maybe if he was, well, I should stop right there before I get myself in trouble.
Give me another persuasion check. He nods. He says, "You might have a point, I suppose," as he takes a little puff of his pipe. So time is passing. Another 20 minutes goes by, unless you're going to do something, as you all are talking and hanging out.
If we get to quarter of, I'm going to ask the waiter where the privy is.
Okay, so then that would be 10 minutes later while they're still having their chat. She says, it's right over there, and she kind of motions to a side room.
I'm going to head on over there.
Okay. So you go over. It is currently there are. It looks like it is occupied with a few of the stalls. There are open ones though.
There's a multi-stall privy.
I think
Doors are more advanced.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think
the great architects.
Yeah, I mean, there's the old sewers that aren't working very well, but there's basically holes in the ground. That
okay.
Yeah.
Holes in the ground and multiple people. All right. Well, I will. All right. Well, I'm gonna go into one of them and reoperate Nettle.
Okay.
He's a spider at the moment.
All right, Nettle Spider.
And then I'm gonna cast Enhance Ability as a touch spell that Nettle can deliver.
So, someone might hear.
All right. All right. Well, I'm gonna go into one of them and reoperate Nettle.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna cast Enhance Ability as a touch spell that Nettle can deliver. So, someone might hear.
Um, someone might hear.
Yeah, okay.
Alright, so you taking a chance?
Yeah, I'm in a stall or something, right? I don't know. Just
Uh,
am I out in public?
no, you're not, so it's sort of like separate rooms, but they're pretty close to each other. It's not like a bathroom stall, it's more like different rooms with like a place to sit or stand in a hole that you would use.
Yeah, that makes sense, like a garderobe. All right, well, that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to cast it. I'll try to be quiet. Obviously, I can't be subtle spell, but I will try to be on the subtle side.
Okay. And you're gonna do it through Nettle, like send him out to try to touch
Yeah.
Ivor? Alright, give me a d20 roll to see if anything happens.
Okay.
Alright. So you send Nettle out. Nettle is sneaking. Give me a stealth roll.
Oh, no, I'm not setting Nettle out. He's with me, so he's going to deliver it. So I'm going to leave the privy, and I'm going to walk by Ivor's table and drop Nettle onto his shoulder.
So I think he has to be next to me when you cast this spell.
Yeah, I believe
Yeah, like,
when
his
you
reaction.
cast it, like it basically suddenly as a reaction, it goes through him and touches you instead of from your hand.
Imagine it's a magical hand floating away from you whenever it touches something. Then you can make the spell
In
happen.
that case, I will have walked by Nettle before I went in the bathroom.
Oh, like walked by his table and tried to slide a hand or something?
Yeah,
Nettle
he's a
just
little
crawls down your leg and off your foot while you
Uh,
walk by.
give me, I guess like stealth or sleight of hand, either of those would work for this. If
For
you're
me or
trying to.
Nettle?
For you as you walk by the table, I would assume to like plop him down near Ivor.
Right.
Unless there's a different thing you want to do for that.
No, I mean I'm just trying to drop him near Ivor. If somebody sees me,
Just think you're a weirdo throwing spiders at people.
I mean I'm not gonna. I'm gonna have Nettle to like jump off me. So maybe it's his stealth, but.
Yeah, sure we could do it that way. So maybe he's on your leg, and if you would rather have him roll stealth, that's fine too.
I mean, neither one of us are good at stealth. Hold on a minute. I don't have Spider Nettle up at the moment. Let me just grab him.
Spider Nettle. Spider Nettle.
Nettle the spider.
Does whatever a spider nettle does.
Okay. Oh yeah, he's got better stealth than me. I'm gonna use a inspiration though, just to be on the safe side.
Okay. So you go past, and Nettle kind of hops on the seat near Ivor, and Ivor, you would see him scurry up to you. Just kind of stare at you. Then you would go into the restroom.
I was having him cast, by the way. I don't know if I said that. It was tongues. I'm having him recast.
Tongues. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. So yeah, you go in the bathroom and you are casting tongues. As you finish the spell, you hear a voice outside say, "Dear, are you okay in there? You're making weird noises."
Yep. Just fine, thank you. Just practicing some poetry. You like it?
Give me a persuasion, or actually, give me a deception.
You're saying my spells aren't poetic?
Okay. Just checking. Okay, and just walks away. All right, so you recast tongues, and Ivor, you are once again enchanted with magic for another hour till 2:45.
Excellent.
But the other 10 minutes would pass, so it is 1:55. You've both the men seem to be enjoying your company. One of Mormuck, what was the other guy's name? I don't remember. His Borshnag.
Borshnuck or something.
Borshnek says, "Oh man, it's getting late. I think I'm gonna go." Mormuck says, "Yeah, I think I'll join you. It's been fun hanging out with you." What was your name?
Trabon.
It's been fun hanging out with you, Trabon. Maybe we could. I'll be around tomorrow, same time, so maybe we could talk then if you're still here.
Well, I was hoping that I could trouble you for a little bit of advice, Mormuk. I think that you strike me as the kind of guy who might be able to help me out with a problem that I'm having as well. Of course, Nick, if you got to get going or whatever, no issue there. But if you've got a few minutes, Mormuk, I could use some help with something.
Borshnag says, "Oh, I don't mind helping too. I mean, you just spent like 20 minutes helping me out. I can hear your problem. I'm sort of a smart guy." Mormuk just shrugs.
I'll sort of like I'll burp and I'll say, oh, sorry, excuse me. Well, you see, it's a matter of, incidentally, it's a relational issue, and I think I liked the things that Mormuk had to say about relationship, and I was hoping maybe he could give me some advice. It's a little embarrassing, so I'm trying to keep it on the down low, if you know what I mean.
Give me a persuasion. Mormok says, "I do give way better relationship advice than you do, Borshnag." It's like, I don't know if that's true. He's like, I don't know, but fine, I guess. Just don't listen to too much what Mormuck says. He doesn't always know what he's talking about. All right, Mormuck, I'll see you later. He's like, yeah, take care. He sits down, smiles. He says, all right, tell me about this lady problem you're having. I'll give you the rundown.
Well, you see, this lady I heard about when I came to town. She's a bit of a vault, you might say. She's very secretive. She doesn't really let anybody in. She won't let me talk to her. But I hear that you actually know her quite well, and you spend a lot of time with her. Almost on the daily. And I was wondering if maybe I could make it worth your while to leave her alone for a little bit on one of these days, so that me and some friends of mine might be able to speak with her privately.
He says, well, you can't let ladies be closed off like a vault. You gotta fight them on that. You gotta make sure they know what's going on and they're open with you. You know, it's not always easy, but sometimes you gotta do it. That's what I say.
Yes, just so. Well, let me rephrase. Hang on a minute here. I'm talking about the actual vault, Mormuk. You know the one.
Hang on, let me roll. He says, yeah, no, ladies can be closed off. I get you, man, I get you, but sometimes you just gotta fight them on it. You gotta let them know what's up. You gotta be open, and you gotta make sure they're open with you. You know, like, not like an actual vault, but like a lady.
Should have had this conversation 20 minutes ago before he finished his last beer.
Yeah, he's been drinking a little.
Yep.
He claps your shoulder and smiles. He says, "I know it can be hard to hear. I'm just telling you what usually has worked for me."
Yeah. That's good advice. Maybe I'll take your advice on this lady problem. Say, there was something else that I wanted to ask you about while I got you here, though.
Yeah, sure. What's going on?
Well, I said I'm fairly new to town, but I was talking to a fellow the other day who, he told me about this vault that exists in the city, and there might be these strange and magical things in it. I was wondering if maybe you knew anything about that.
And he says, "Wait, we're not talking about ladies anymore. You're talking about actual vaults now."
Yeah, no, not talking about ladies anymore. We're talking about vaults. Yeah.
He says, "Well, I mean, I'm actually a guard at the big one over north of us. Is that the one you're talking about?"
Yeah, I think it might be.
Oh.
I didn't realize you were a guard there. That's pretty neat, man.
Give me a deception check. Oh, he says, "Yeah. No, I've been working there for a while. It's a pretty easy job. I mean, no one fucks with giants, so it's decent pay. It could be better. I've been, says if I'm honest, I've been hitting the card parlors a little bit too hard at times, and money's been a little bit tight, but it pays okay. You looking for a job or something?"
Well, not necessarily a job, As I
Says, "Yeah,
said,
you're a merchant, right? I think I remember you say. Yeah, you sell stuff."
I sell stuff and things. You had mentioned the pay could be a little bit better. If you, and it just between us guys, because I probably won't be in town all that long. So if anybody was gonna know, it might as well be me, because I might be able to do something about it and leave you alone. And you said money could be a little bit better. But let me ask you this, friend. How much money do you think it would take to change your life? I think about it some days and I'm like, oh man, what would I do with another 10 gold? What would I do with another 100 gold? What would I do with another 1,000 gold? What's your number there? When you think about that question, what are you like, what, man, this really turned things around for me.
Changed my life. Well, if I could get a couple of hundred, that would put me in better with all the debts I owe, and maybe I could maybe get a bit of a bigger place. I don't know, like a couple 100,000. I don't know. There's a bunch of stuff I could use to do better. He says,
Sure.
but for a guy like me, that's going to be a hard amount to make.
I hear you, man. I hear you.
He says, I don't know how much the traveling merchant gig pays, but I don't make that much.
Well, man, I do all right. I do all right. You say a couple hundred might change your life, huh? Well, let me ask you this: if I could set you up with a few hundred gold in exchange for taking the day off, is that something you think you would be interested in?
He says, taking the day off. He lowers his voice a bit. He says, you looking to what? What are you looking to do exactly?
Oh, my friends and I just need some alone time with the vault, you see.
He says, wait, are you really a merchant? Why do you need alone time with the vault?
I told you, I sell things that I get from places.
He starts looking around a bit. Like, is this some kind of
conversation ever?
Is this some kind of test?
No test here, friends. Just I thought maybe I could help out a fellow dwarf who could use some of what I have to offer.
How long does the enhance ability go for?
Goes for an hour.
An hour.
I mean, like, what time are we at? Like, from where you cast it?
1:15 is when we cast it, and I don't think it's 2:15 yet.
No, it's about 2 now. Give me another persuasion check with advantage. So you got about 15 minutes or so. So he's
and this one, this is the real critical question here. So
he scratches his chin a bit.
We're gonna add this on there too.
Okay. So you smile, some of your devil charm coming through. He scratches his chin.
Oh, nice.
And says, "You looking to break in?" He's still a little drunk, obviously.
Right.
So he gets a little worried as he kind of looks around again. He's like, what type of money are we talking about? Changing his tone a little bit less friendly, maybe.
A little more businesses, yeah. I'll say, well, you said a couple hundred gold might change your life. I thought maybe I'd do double that for you. So if you're thinking 200 gold might really change things for you. I was thinking it might do you 4.
He again looks around, still looks kind of nervous. He says, alright, how about 600? He says, I know what type of stuff is in there. You're going to be making way more, even getting into the first rooms. Way more than 600.
Allegedly.
I will smile and I will say, tell you what, I appreciate your honesty and your forwardness. Let's make it 8. Does 8 work for you? It works for me.
He smiles and says, yeah, I can do 8. When do you need this alone time?
I feel like we had set up a time, is that right? Or maybe we
still-
hadn't yet.
We still have about a week because of the prep work and stealing of the mold.
Yeah, they have to get the mold still, so I think there was like 2 more days left on the prep work for the mold.
That sounds right. Okay. Then I'll say, well, friend, we're still ironing out the details, so the specific day is uncertain as of yet. But as soon as I know, I gather you spend your afternoons here when you get off work. Maybe I'll see you one of these days, and I'll come over and we'll hang out for a minute, and I can let you know.
He nods. He says, all right, well, I'm here pretty much every day. I need at least a day's notice, so you're going to have to come in the day before and let me know for the next day.
Absolutely, I can do that. Well then, excuse me while I, stretch my back here. I'll reach into my bag and fumble around for a little bit before I pull out, 80 platinum.
Wow, you paying him up front?
You're not doing half now, half later?
Right?
Well,
So
actually,
you-
that's
We're
good.
like babbling in your ears through the mind link now.
No, I think
Theo's not.
that's an appropriate
Gaming pigeon.
metagaming pigeon. No, that's an appropriate thing for Ivor to be well practiced at, because this isn't the first time I've greased somebody's palms. So that's in fact exactly what I'll do. I'll say about
I assumed you were just showing him the money and then maybe giving him half or something.
sure. Actually, yeah, that sounds
That's smarter.
Yeah.
good. Yeah, I'll take one of my pouches out, the one that I put my platinum in, and
Yeah.
I'll put it on the table, and I'll open it up enough that he can see it, and then I'll pull out and count out.
Give him a peek. As you, so you're going to start counting?
Well, I'm not trying to like splay it out all on the table. I actually have my platinum in rolls, so I'll give him 4 rolls because I feel like more discreet than being like, "Ching, here's all his money."
So as he sees you take the platinum out, he kind of puts his hand up and he says, meet me out back in 20 minutes. As he kind of looks around again, a little bit worried.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. That's more sense. Yeah.
He's like, well, I think I gotta go take a piss, and I think the bathroom's full, so I'm gonna go in the alleyway. I'll talk to you later, friend. And he says that a little bit louder than the other things he's been saying. He gets up and stretches, and he heads out.
Of course. I'll say, it really is good to meet you. I think I'm gonna stick around for another ale. These are pretty good.
Okay. So you have another ale, right?
Yep.
Pay another gold piece or so, and then go meet him.
Yeah.
Alright, so he's back there looking really nervous, looking around. He puts his hand out. He's like, alright, where is it?
I'll take a look around real quick as well, just to make sure that it doesn't look like anybody's out here. He looks like he's doing a good job keeping watch, but I might as well take a look as well.
Give
It's
me
almost
a
like he's paid to do it.
perception check. True, he's a guard.
He better be good at fucking perceiving things.
No, you don't see. I mean, there are people in the streets, but no one really in the alleyway.
Sure, okay. then yeah, I will give him the 4 rolls of 10 platinum each, and I'll say, I was thinking we could probably do half now and half when the job is done.
Give me a persuasion check, and at this point, I think it wore off
Okay.
the advantage.
All right.
18. He seems like he's about to protest, but he's like, yeah, no, that's fair. All right, I'll be here every day. Just let me know, and then I'll get the other 4 from you, and I'll let you know the window.
That sounds good to me. It's been a pleasure talking to you. You're a good man, Mormuk.
He says, yeah, thanks. He says, are you really a merchant, or did you just want to talk to me?
Well, I do actually sell things wherever I get them. So I guess you could call me a merchant. That's no lie.
Huh. Interesting. He says, well, I'm not going to ask too many questions. If you got money, I could definitely use it. All right, I'll see you later, friend. He
I'll see you later.
smiles and gives you a bit of a bow and then walks away.
Excellent. I will communicate via... No, I won't, because it just ran out. I'll go back inside, and...
The mind link lasts longer, doesn't it? Or does it?
It's
No, it's an hour.
Okay.
yeah, we'll just go back inside and order another ale from the bar and sit down and drink it.
Okay, so you sit down, get another ale for gold. I guess the 2 of you have been sitting there for a while at the table, just kind of watching and talking. Betha and Zalia.
Yeah.
Okay. So you pretty much observed things that happened. You couldn't really.
There's the legs in this cheese.
This
Betha,
actually
like,
makes them
probably
taste better.
pulls some like a spice pouch out of her pouch and like seasons the stew. And complains about it a bit.
The food actually isn't too bad.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you got the fried bugs, but
No,
yeah.
you said there was goat stew.
Yeah, so all the food here has been pretty good. You think at least the cook is somewhat competent. I don't know, maybe you probably spent like 2 gold or something on your food and drinks. But yeah, how long are you going to hang out? You see that Diddy has kind of been moving around the bar, talking to different people, drinking in his dwarf form. He hasn't, or he isn't using his Kezer form. He's using looks like someone who's a little bit more well kept, like a merchant or something.
I would say, I guess I would ask Zalia in our mind link, like, should we like act like we're wrapping up and moving out? Since,
Well, you'd have to talk to her now.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Try to say it in her mind first, doesn't get a response back, gives Haley the eyes for a second, then yeah.
Yeah. So,
Well, what do you think? Is it about time we head out?
Yes. I'll put the rind of cheese delicately down on the plate in front of me. Look around, see where I was. Yes, of course. Better get along. They'll be waiting for us back at home.
yeah. So I'll
will-
like take the last sip of the ale or whatever we were drinking and kind of push back from the table and head out.
So Diddy probably notices you a moment later. He excuses himself and walks out as well, making sure to give a bit of a moment between the time you 2 leave and when he leaves. What about you, Ivor?
I will, after I see them leave, I'll just finish my ale at a casual pace and then go to the bathroom to create more time, and then I will also leave.
Okay. So Diddy doesn't actually join you two, Betha or Azalia. You would see They just keep walking down the street. Looks like they're going back towards the sewer entrance where you came out of.
Yeah, we're gonna walk that way too.
Okay. So when you all get over there, you would see him slip into some alleyways. You, I assume, would as well. Give me stealth checks. I assume you're trying to be kind of stealthy.
As we enter the
Yeah, sort of as you go
opening or
off the
something?
main. Well, as you go off the main street into the more abandoned part of town, off to the west.
Gotta remember, you do have to crawl down a sewer grate and stuff. That will draw suspicion if you're not stealthy.
Oh well, no, that part is easy because that's in an abandoned area, just kind of getting off the road. Yes, you're kind of careful and step away when everyone is kind of looking away. And he would be at the entrance as you get over there. He says, "How did it go?" Or I guess I should ask. Yeah, I guess I should ask Ivor when he gets here.
I've had better cider though.
He says, "Really? I thought the cider was pretty good." As well. I mean, you come from nobility, don't you?
No.
Oh, why did I think you did? Huh. So a little while later, you would see Ivor come down the alleyway. Give me a stealth check, Ivor.
Thank God for these boots. Oh, I shouldn't have said anything.
Yeah, so
Thank God for
Ivor,
these boots.
Ivor comes down the alleyway as well. Diddy looks over. He says, "Everything goes smooth."
Very smooth, I think. Turns out our friend Mormic is very amenable to greasy palms. Well, that was a good pick. Well done.
He says, "Yeah, no, I definitely thought he was the one to go with. How much did it end up costing you?"
Well, in the end it'll cost us about 800, but I thought it was better to be generous than stingy. Never be stingy with a bribe.
He says, "No, that's really good. It's a really generous bribe. I mean, if things go well, I think we'll easily make that back. So, anything else we need to do before we head back down?"
I don't believe so.
All right, let's get going then. I'm gonna walk you both back to our base, and then I'm gonna head back out. I got some more errands to run. So Theo, you've been working in the shop all day. I wouldn't say it's been too awkward with Gears. She's kind of been doing her own thing as you were kind of doing yours since the incident. So
That's flirting for people who are usually head in work.
yeah. Do you want to try to talk to her after that, or you just kind of leave her be?
Oh, you're making some headway there.
Above a 10 I don't, below a 10 I do. I focus on my work.
Alright, so you both kind of focus on your work, taking similar approaches to the situation.
Definitely taking glances are happening and stuff, and then back to the work.
Yeah, there's probably a glance every now and then she would blush and go back to what she's doing with her papers.
See, blush, smile, blush myself.
Yeah. So you all get back. It's around 2:20. Oddly enough, you would see the two artificers not near each other working together, but on separate sides of the room, which is a little odd.
Is it awkward?
All
Can we
three of us are different.
with a knife? What's
As
going on?
soon as they come in,
I don't know,
Theo's
what's
probably
your,
still blushing, and then Helmet instantly envelops his head.
What's your insight like?
I mean, my passive insight is not the best. It's
Sure, you can make a check if you
12,
want.
12.
Things seem things seem
I
curious.
know Theo pretty well.
Yeah, it feels like something's weird. He's very deceptive.
Is everything all right?
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure Betha knows immediately.
Betha just chuckles to herself and goes back to, working on her books.
Potions, yeah.
Theo?
Question: is there a door I can close?
No, this is an open like work area.
Shit. Yep. His use a bonus action to have my helmet form up and around my head and face and stuff.
Makes it a little bit harder to see the work you're doing,
Oh,
but
I can see perfectly through the lenses.
yeah,
I say Zalia.
Chuckle
I'd
at
say-
that since
I say Zalia. What do you think about maybe having Nettle just accompany Ivor in his pocket next time? And she just starts prattling on about something else.
yes, you're quite right. I should have put him on Nettle on his shoulder or something before we left. It's a bit awkward trying to get it over there.
I'm just glad
I confess
Ivor's
I
just
quite
now coming
forgot.
back.
Would you say, Theo?
I'm glad Ivor's just now coming in.
feel like I missed some good stuff.
what's
put it
what's your insight, Ivor?
Garbage.
All
That's
right.
10.
Ivor's like, what are we doing? He just goes, I don't know, does something else. I have no idea. So yeah, what's everyone gonna do? Or do you want me to just pass time?
How everything go?
It went really well, I think. I think that we have secured our bribe. I think that Mormuk is quite content to take the day off when we need him to.
I take out a napkin
Oh,
and unfold it and give Theo some of the spider cheese or whatever. But here, I brought you something.
Ooh,
Some
thank you.
Spider cheese. So just FYI,
Why is it
Rando and Diddy are not here. It's just Gears who's very quietly and quickly trying to work on her own across the shop. And Chevreau and what's his name? Boulder Bottom are also here, though they're also kind of doing their own thing. They haven't been paying attention too much. So yeah, you give Theo some cheese.
The helmet forms from around the mouth, but still covers the rest of it. It's pretty much a Power Rangers helmet. Like, it has the shape of a dragon's face shaped into it and everything, with the visor going across the eyes.
It's morphin' time. Alright. So
Accidentally made the Green Ranger.
So yeah, you can definitely, Bathe especially, since there's a little bit of awkwardness. Time passes. I'll say the day probably passes. Unless there's anything else you all want to talk about that day. So it is now the 12th at 7 a.m. Rando and Diddy had come back that evening. Rando seems really happy with how things are going, especially once he hears that the bribe has been secured, and it seems like it's a go.
Everything's
Diddy-
going on the key mold side.
On the what? Oh, the key? He says, oh, I'm pretty much ready. There's just a couple little things I'm double checking, but at this point I'm more just waiting for my window to do it, which is going to be in a day from now. Gears or Diddy would say, yeah, and the Mormuk guy seems to be acting normal. I didn't see him try to go to the guards or anything, so I think we're okay.
Excellent.
Yeah. The rumors have spread, and at this point, I think the Pitchfire emissary is pretty much ready to meet with you whenever. I think they're very curious as to what sort of things you have.
Excellent. And were you able to find out anything specific about the individual who wanted to meet with me? What sort of person they are?
So, I didn't exactly. There's a couple of people it could be. It's not always the same one, so unfortunately I don't have a good way of knowing exactly who it is. It's just the rumor. It was kind of like they sent feelers out of the house, but it wasn't really like a specific person. It was more just from the family in general.
I see. Very well.
So, unfortunately, you're going in a little blind. Although you handled that Mormuk thing like a champ, so I'm pretty sure you can handle this.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Is Not without considerable help from Professor Zalia, though. I do speak very well, but I speak much better with magic. As do all people, but...
Says it certainly can help. As they change shape again. So yeah, whenever you're ready to go, I can set it up and then bring you to the house. I do have to set it up though, so that might take a day.
Okay, and it's still the same day, right? Or is it the next day now?
It's the same day. Well, it's it's the
Night of
next
that
day.
day, right?
It's the
Night.
next day after you did your meeting.
Okay, perfect.
This is the morning after.
I'm just gonna long rest myself then, because I used
Same.
Yeah.
the thingy.
Yeah, no, it'd be in the morning. This is when
Never
everyone
know when
kind
you're
of
gonna need the thingy.
yeah. Randa says, "Well, we're looking good, everyone. Everyone's doing a great job. As I said, I need about 2 more days, and then, well, 1 more day, and then the heist day, which, yeah, I think I'm pretty ready for myself, and I might need to bring Gears with me because there are some traps that I probably need her expertise with, but."
Thero's head perks up a bit of that.
And she smiles and says, "I'm ready whenever you are." Says, I need to get out of this place. I feel like I've been sitting here forever. Though it has been, it's been fun hanging out with our friends here. And she might blush a little as she smiles at Theo. But yeah, it'll be good to get out a bit. Rando kind of looks at her, looks at Theo, and says, yeah. Do any of you need anything else? Anything else needs to be set up, or is everything looking on schedule?
You said that the meat with the pitchforks, whatever they're called.
Pitchfire?
Pitchfires, yeah. I think my autocorrect changed it to pitchforks. I was just looking at my notes and I'm like, wait a minute, I didn't type that.
That can't be right.
The pitchforks. Yeah, so the meeting
but yeah,
can...
you said that it would take a day to set it up, so maybe you should set it up today so that can be done a day from now?
Maybe. I might be able to get in the same day. I just thought I would space it out just so it doesn't look,
Gotcha.
we don't want to look too desperate.
Eager. Okay, gotcha. Okay.
I'd say spacing it out would be just fine. We'll need time to finish up the key anyway, so...
So I'll set that up for tomorrow. We should definitely do it in the morning before the heist, Diddy says. Once the heist happens, there might be some unease within the city.
So do the heist and get out?
And they're talking about the heist with the key, right? Or are they talking about the vault now?
The key. The heist for the key is... did I say it was tomorrow?
2 days.
2 days, right. Okay, so no, never mind. It would be a different day anyway. So yeah, we definitely want to get that done before the key mold is stolen, just because it'll cause a little bit of might cause some people to become a little itchy.
Do we have any idea what the key mold looks like on the outside?
I don't, unfortunately. Rando says. I just know where it is.
It could probably make a very convincing replica, at least of the outside, but yeah, if we don't have anything to go off of.
Yeah, unfortunately, I wasn't able to find much about the actual look of it through the writings I found. This is given access to a larger library and more time, I might be able to do that, but yeah.
Yeah,
right.
Something to plan for if we ever do another heist again.
Alright, so I'm going to pass this day quietly unless anyone else wants to do some RP.
Probably would chat with Gears some more.
Actually, if everyone's together, after you do that, I do have something.
Alright, so we'll say that's the morning meetup. Rando is he's actually hanging out. Well, no, he has one more thing to do, so he's leaving. Diddy's leaving to go set up the meeting. Gears is getting her tools ready and maybe working on some stuff for traps. Yeah, what did you want to do, Zalia?
So I just uh, do I can I do like a general insight check to? I just feel like everybody that team seems to be gone a lot, and I don't. I know that they're working on stuff, but do I still trust them? Do I still feel like they're in the up and up, or all their patterns feel normal?
You can give me an insight. That's fine.
GTA brain kicking in again. Yeah, you got your two people who are constantly trying to figure out what information's
I was
going on
just
right
like,
now. Oh, Zaylee doesn't trust anybody. I understand that. If you're not in the group, fuck you.
Fuck you.
I mean, you probably don't know much about heisting or how much goes into it, or if they should be gone much. So maybe you're getting a little bit iffy. Though you haven't seen anything to make you think they're trying to betray you. I mean, you could probably ask Beldani about it. He probably knows more about this type of setup.
Okay. So I just at some point when the group is just us,
Okay.
I would like to say, how
you
about
want-
this plan?
Do you want
For-
to have this conversation in the lair?
Yeah, in the I'll be making the dome every night, so I'll do it in the dome.
Oh, at nighttime?
Okay.
Okay, so
I
the
think that
day.
they-
Or go ahead.
Well, I was just saying, like, the dome doesn't
Or in the
stop,
morning.
like, sound or whatever, yeah. But we could do it via the mind link.
I guess that's true. You could have the discussion via mind link. Do you want to do that?
Yeah, I guess. Or I was thinking in the morning. I mean, I just
All right,
Sure.
so we'll just say you kind of take everyone off to the side somewhere.
that just feels super suspicious. I was thinking we would just do it while we were all kind of on our own in the morning.
All right, well, Rando and Diddy left already. Gears is still here, but she's not paying much attention to your group. She's been pretty standoffish since yesterday. So you could probably just talk to everyone off to the side while she's over there.
Alright. So I'll just say, have we given a lot of thought to what's going to happen once we have opened this and have our things? I'm just concerned that they said there was a lot of gold or money, and that seemed to be what they promised, but obviously magic items or magical potions or scrolls or whatnot would probably be of the most use to us rather than currency, and I wondered if anyone's gotten any more information from any of these people about what it is we expect to find.
May I, kind of based on Zalia voicing these concerns, make an insight check on kind of review things in my own brain about, like, how I feel about them?
Sure. Yeah. You don't think there's been any, you don't think there's been anything suspicious, or at least too suspicious. I mean, they haven't been sharing all their information with you, but they've also been kind of busy plotting everything and planning.
It's just that the last time we opened a vault, the group of criminals, we didn't really have things worked out beforehand in terms of who would take what away and all that, and just want to make sure that we're on the same page before we get in this situation.
Well, I feel rather better about this group than I ever felt about Cithril, but no one listened to me when we made deals with Cithril.
Seth was a hero. Gilda shining through.
Beldani says, well, they seem like nice enough folk, but it might be good to try to come to an agreement as to how we're splitting everything. I mean, in heists like this, a lot of times you'll kind of get things sorted, figure out what's there, then well, usually you know what you're stealing, so this is kind of a strange scenario. But yeah, until we know what we have, it's hard to split it. We should definitely, if there's going to be magic involved, we should definitely come to some kind of agreement beforehand. I mean, I would assume... Or go ahead.
Oh no, you can go ahead.
He says, I would assume we would be splitting gold evenly and maybe going through the artifacts we find and maybe going back and forth evenly between both the groups.
That actually seems like a pretty fair way to do it. I agree with you on all accounts. You can't really decide who's going to get what if you don't know what you have to split. And I think that, to the professor's point, we are much more likely to be interested in magic items than gold, but I'm sure they are as well. At the same time, it doesn't do us much good to say, yeah, we like first dibs on the magic items, you can have first dib on the dough, if the items then suck. So, yeah, perhaps it would be worth establishing some sort of system whereby we all admit that we are blind as to the specific contents of the vault, but which will allow us some sort of give and take in the magic item process.
Well, exactly. I mean, this is their job, and so I just worry that they might decide to take what they want and leave us with whatever they think we ought to have. And I don't really mind one way or the other, as long as we've got it all worked out. But the other question I had for you all was, are we going to get going right away after that? And as a sort of codicil, if things should go south, I do think that we should cut and run as quickly as possible to where we need to go. So we should probably have a plan in place in case we're separated or whatever.
Oh, well, Rando did give me some maps of the underground. I think I could get us to the lava tubes, Beldani said. I haven't checked out the path yet, but it makes sense on paper. So
Maybe we check it out, because someone said there might be a beholder in there.
Also, once I'm done with my current project, let me get a hold of those maps. I can make at least 2 more copies, so Zalia, I, and you each have a copy in case we all get split up.
Beldani says, well, I wasn't going to go into the lava tubes, because if there is a beholder in there, I don't want any part of that by myself, but I was thinking it might be good to verify this tunnel to make sure it goes to the lava tubes. Oh, he says, you think they're going to double-cross us?
No.
After-hours double-cross. That is a very common thing that happens in heists.
Yes,
Now Beldani's scratching his chin.
They don't give me the vibe of people who would double cross. Besides,
Oh,
whenever
Theo.
we first made this agreement, I called dibs on a specific kind of item,
living in
and
your basement of you for what, 6 months?
she still owes me a
Beldani-
favor.
She owes you a lot.
Wait, who owes him a lot? Beldani says.
I'm just saying he's not the best judge of character.
An X.
Oh.
I mean, that's a word for it.
He says, well, I will say, Theo, I mean, I don't look like the kind of guy who would double-cross, but I've double-crossed in heists, and I've been double-crossed. I mean, if they're any good, then they probably could double-cross us without us knowing. So,
True.
I wouldn't
Because
be
they
too
could doesn't
trusting.
mean they would.
Well, if you'd like.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry.
No, you.
Oh, go ahead, Beta.
No, I was going to change the
No,
subject.
you're
So.
right. I mean, if we'd like to have this conversation this evening with them and sort out the how the basic plan on how things will be split, understanding that we don't yet know what we're getting, but like you said, the splitting the gold and back and forth on the items or some such plan. I could use some magic to help kind of encourage more truthfulness in that conversation, and if they are queasy about allowing such magic, that would tell us something.
Well,
I don't know that would tell us much more than they are uncomfortable with having their
yeah,
being
Beldani would.
forced to be honest about things.
Yeah, Beldani would nod. He says, I assume you're talking about Circle of Truths, right?
Zone
Zone of Truths. He says, I mean, while it's true that, you could say, oh, well, what do you got to hide? When you're dealing with criminals, they don't generally like being put in that situation.
I'm not a criminal. I don't like being put in that situation.
Shows
Also, pretty sure if you cast that around Ivor, he'll disintegrate.
Yeah. Shows a basic lack of trust among the team.
No lies detected.
I smile deeply. I think it's funny. Yes, I think ultimately the issue is that I have seen it done many times before where such a proposal is made between parties with the explicit direction that only relevant questions be asked, but nevertheless, some people decide to ask questions about things that they have that do not pertain to the matter at hand in any way, but because they have asked them, the recipient is now in a difficult position where they have to answer things that have nothing to do with the job. And that, I think, is the real concern with most criminal lords.
Then one would have the recourse to step out of the zone. If we're doing this on the up and up, and we would all know exactly how to step out of the zone.
Auntie's right, but I do think that if they do,
it's not like we're restraining.
They would not allow the zone of truth to be cast, and if they don't, they might still not allow it. So I'm not sure that it tells us that they are, but if they are, we couldn't prove it. So perhaps it's
ultimately, I think the only thing that a zone of truth is ever guaranteed to tell you is that the person casting it doesn't trust you.
Yeah, that's for priests and governments, Beldani says. Us thieves
Beldani MVP for that shit.
It's the man. That's the man talking right there. Zone of truth.
Unless they're planning to set us up in some way, the biggest concern I would have is if these maps they've given us are not correct. But I could send Nettle in to do a little bit of exploratory work while we're waiting here, and perhaps he could even spot if there is something dangerous down there, what it is.
Well, we know there's at least one dangerous thing there, because After Hours told us.
Well, we know that there was one that was believed to be there, but we don't know if it's still there, and I don't know where it is. So Nettle could find that out for us.
Well, they showed us the area that is his general prowling grounds, what he claims is his territory. And beholders don't much leave their territory.
They showed us where he resides on maps that they gave us, that they made, and I think that the professor is only recommending that perhaps it would be worth our free time to have Nettle go and confirm that the maps actually depict what they look like they depict. Whether he finds a beholder or not is inconsequential to knowing whether or not these maps are even useful.
It strikes me that if there were a double cross, and I'm not saying that I would plan to double cross anyone, but if I was going to plan to double cross someone, probably would let them take their treasure and walk right into a beholder's den, and then go and collect the treasure later.
Except you have to then go into the beholder's den to collect the treasure later.
Perhaps they're in cahoots with the beholder, we don't know.
Zalia looks over at Betha. If she ever trusts anybody, it's a miracle of Palor.
Now that's a valid question. Beholders are just as crafty as any other sort of aberration. There's no reason why something like that would be off the table. Again, I'm not saying that this is the case either. I'm just saying that sending a familiar into the tunnels to make sure that the tunnels are what the map says they are, there's no drawback to that. There's no reason not to do that.
Yeah, I'm not saying not to do that. That is a smart thing to do, period. Just to see if terrains change at all. It's more so the whole, I really need to trust some people, at least a little bit. Especially whenever we're going into a dangerous.
Rando fellow might be a beholder that's managed to disguise himself, do you?
I don't think that necessarily, but Theo, while I do appreciate your suggestion that we ought to trust people, I think that choosing to trust criminals implicitly is perhaps not the way to go.
Does an overdone gesture, hands out towards you and then towards Beldani?
I wouldn't trust me if I wasn't me, and I wouldn't trust Beldani if I wasn't Beldani either.
I'm neither of you, and I trust both of you, and you don't trust Beldani?
Look, we've got.
I wouldn't trust me, Beldani says. I steal people's souls when I kill them.
You trust far too often, and several untrustworthy people. Really, I think the only one here who is trustworthy is probably Auntie.
Eh?
I agree.
I am quite trustworthy. It's my own safety that cannot be put in my hands.
Yes.
So what's up with you and Gears over there, Beldani says? You guys have been weird.
I have work to do. And he walks out the dome.
Nice.
Now we know how to get rid of him.
I have to go look at documents.
Over there.
Documents.
Beldani gives everyone a wink and says, I believe it might be prudent to check those halls, though, Zalia. That's probably a good idea.
All right.
We do have a day or two, right? And I think they said they wanted... Okay. He says, didn't they say they needed
a tiny little map?
Yeah. Alright, so Nettle... how is Nettle gonna... Is he bringing the map with him? How is he gonna know where to go?
I'll have him look at it and then just point to him where I want him to go this time, and each time he'll go down a different path or whatever and come back and report to me.
Alright. What is his intelligence? Yeah, his, right? Yeah, what's his intelligence again?
I mean, I don't know because he's Fae, so he wouldn't take the intelligence of the creature that...
Does Find Familiar say they get a base one? Because if not, it's whatever form he's in.
I think it does say. I
I
know that the demon familiars and like devil familiars are a little smarter, but I think the animal ones are still pretty dumb.
The demon one also takes this class and subclass investment in order to get.
Yeah, that's why. That's one of the reasons why they're so much better. Here, let me look at Find Familiar.
Well,
appearing.
Have him up,
The
but
familiar
it's
has
very low for spider.
It has
make him a
statistics
rat,
of the
I
chosen
guess.
form.
Yeah, rats are smarter.
Yeah, I'll make him a... Well, they're still only a 2
Oh,
int. What the hell?
I don't think any of them are going to be high enough to actually interpret a map. I think 6 is like the breakpoint
You have
for
like
like stupid versus not.
Yeah, I was gonna say like looking through tunnels might be a little bit too advanced for them. Do you have like a scry spell or something you could use?
Octopus is a 3, but
The octopus just like
Scry
crawling down the
Doesn't
tunnel.
really
Blurp,
tell
blurp,
me
blurp,
what I
blurp,
would
blurp.
want to. Well, alright
But-
then.
This would be a sick time for
Arcane
what
Eye.
is? Oh, I was gonna say whatever the invocation is that like really soups up Pact of the Chain. I forget what it is.
Investiture the Chainmaster.
That's the one. That
I
shit.
love Chainlock.
Shit's fucking whack.
Alright,
Yeah.
well, I guess if that's the case, I won't do it. I mean, I feel like...
If only one of us had an intelligent familiar that could go invisible and scout
So,
out while communicating at a higher distance.
What you can possibly do if you're feeling like if you're feeling risky, you could try to walk through the tunnels with the familiar and like look through their
Yeah,
eyes.
I think that's a very bad idea.
Besa could go with Pass Without Trace and in animal form, but I think Baldani would be just as stealthy or more.
Yeah.
Aldoni
I
says,
think-
"Yeah, I'm sitting around. I can maybe look into it if you want to give me the maps." Actually, is he good at survival and navigation? Let's see.
No, Bill, I was
Actually-
gonna say while we're trying to do the deal and stuff, you could be trying to see what else they got. It could be swiped.
What else they got? What?
We're gonna go meet a rich family and stuff like that. Might have something else that piques your interest while we're have them at the table talking
You know
trades.
what? If David was here, he would 100% say that.
Yeah, that's why I was saying that
Yeah.
because I really think he would be.
What? Like
Yeah.
steal from them?
Yeah, I think Bell would be trying to like scope
He's
out the
gonna
place,
case the
potentially
joint
grab
during
some.
the meeting.
He
Else.
says, "Well, if I was going to do that, I should have cased it a week ago. But I thought the whole thing was we didn't want to risk them, figuring
agree.
it out."
I am. Beldani, you can do whatever it is that you wish to do, but I believe that trying to case the joint, or worse, is incredibly likely to tip them off.
He says, "Yeah, I think we should either go all in or just not mess with them because I don't want to poison the well if we're going to be working with them, or if they get pissed off and then." Or go ahead.
In that case, the caves would be an excellent place for you. So
He
you don't get
nods.
tempted.
He says, "Yeah, I mean, I was kind of thinking about going to the temple with our buddy there, but yeah, they seem like they have it in hand. All right, let me check his stuff. He's not the best at survival. He's like, I could probably figure it out with the maps. I'll work on that today. I'll go check these out." Boulder Bottom says, "I'll come with you. give me something to do too. He's
There
like,
you go.
oh, hey, there we go. Yeah, sure. He can figure these out better than me. So that's what they're doing today.
Hey, Blue.
Yeah.
What's the plan for Donnie? Like, are we writing him out at this point? Are we going to pretend that we were separated from him, or did he wander off, or got mad at us and left, or
So I
is he going
think
to become an NPC?
Will just popped out of the portal, grabbed him, and pulled him in.
Aw.
I think he's probably gonna wander off at some point. I'll have a story reason for it, but yeah, he's probably just gonna stay in the world, but just maybe separate from the group to maybe go figure out some of his stuff. Because there was a time when he almost did that anyway, so maybe like sometime soon, maybe he'll stay in the Dwarven City or something. As we
Tyr
Okay.
reaches out a wibbly wobbly, timey wimey hand and says, "You're needed elsewhere. You're needed in another timeline."
He just pulls him directly to the plane that
I've
Arc thinks from.
received a vision. I must stay in the city for now, or something. Well, I don't know. I'll figure it out. But yeah, I think he's probably going to end up staying in the city, just because. Yeah, I mean, if he's not coming back for a while, there's no point in him following everyone everywhere.
Could head
Well,
to the
if
Frost Giants. We were
Yeah,
friends with them.
if it makes sense for him to at least get out of here, because having one orc amongst a bunch of Dwergar is a little. I mean, if there's a reason for it, tight. But if there's not, I'm cool to have him just tag along.
He
until
joins
we
after
leave.
hours. He's now the muscle.
Hey, that could be
That's
something
fucking
cool.
great, because that's not out of balance at all, though.
He's
Yeah,
Well,
Tyr-
he could see
Tyr told me
that they
to steal
need
more
balance.
stuff from people.
it's a double cross, and Donnie's in on it.
Our heist situation.
He could see them being thieves and stuff, being like, I'd be more useful to helping to keep them in balance, and y'all seem to guide each other in check.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'll think about it, but yeah, we'll figure something out.
I will miss the conversations with Domax the most.
Yeah,
You'll be missed, Domax.
Theo and him. are doing-
Well, I mean, Gray might come back at some point in the future. I don't know, but yeah, he said at least for the time being, he's probably going to be out for at least another month. So,
fingers crossed he comes back.
but in any case, any other discussions, or shall I start passing the day? You said you were going to go talk to Gears, Theo.
I only have half a day left, so 4 hours left on my project, so I'd probably finish that up, then go talk to her, and hopefully everybody else would have gone to the trade by then.
You're sending stones?
Yes, I'm working on making sending stones. We've had 2 days, right, of me crafting these?
This is the second day. You started them
This is the second
yesterday.
day? I'm sorry. I thought
Yeah.
we had passed through the day.
No, you started them yesterday. Was the meeting with the soldier. Today is the day after, so I think this is your second day, and then tomorrow you'll finish it. Because that would be 2.5. So yeah, do you want to? Are you going to talk to Gears or anything, or what do you want to do? Or just pass time?
Probably pass time because the rest of the group's here and they're going to be staring the entire time.
Yeah, fair enough.
Oh no, I've got things to do.
We got papers.
Talk to Z or something.
Oh, it's mainly Zaylia he's worried about talking to anybody in front of. She'll be like, no, bad decisions, firebolt!
Firebolt, firebolt, firebolt.
Fire, lightning bolt, lightning bolt. What a
I
classic.
mean, okay. Guilty.
There are a lot of firebolts. All right, so for now, you just do your work. Time is passing. The day would pass without issue.
So that's 4 days that Faith has been working on her potion, right? That ends the 4th.
I think so. I haven't been tracking for that from last week.
Well,
I probably should.
Yes, you're on 4.
Because you did a 2-day item and now you're on a
2.5
second
and
day
2.5, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, I think this would be day 4 then, because this would be the maybe.
Yeah, she's finishing up day 4 on my day 2.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So she'd be going into day 5 and I'd be finishing.
All right, so it is the 13th at 7 a.m. Everything is set for Rando's heist tomorrow. He's staying home today. He's getting himself mentally prepared. All his stuff is done. Diddy says, whatever time you want, or wait, no, not whatever time. She says, I've made arrangements for you to speak to the Pitchfires tonight, Ivor.
Very well.
So we will go this evening. So get yourself ready, whatever you need. I am not going in the house with you. They're only expecting you. So,
do you know how many of them there will be?
I have no idea what the inside looks like. I assume they'll just take you into a room somewhere and talk to you.
That sounds good to me.
But they meet with a lot of merchants, so I'm not too worried.
Is there somewhere near the house that we could all go, just in case we needed to step in or help?
I mean, they're in the north part of town. That's kind of the, or the northern cavern, which is more the higher class clans. We could go up there, but it might arouse suspicion. So I'm thinking we should.
Would look higher class.
I mean, I guess we could, if you have disguises of high class people. I just think it might be safer to keep us behind. But if you're worried, I mean, I guess we could go up there.
Well, I think sending Nettle in
She's always worried.
with Ivor and Celia being somewhere in the vicinity would not be the worst idea, just in case.
Diddy would think for a moment. I mean,
Do you know any clothing or signs that are specific to higher class?
Yeah, I have some knowledge of what they wear up there. I guess there is a marketplace. You could all go there. It's not as close to the house, but at least it's up in that vicinity.
Close enough to where if we hear an explosion, Russian.
Yeah, it would be a little, a few blocks away, but that would be the closest we could stay without looking suspicious. Unless you can all hide yourselves and sneak through the streets. But as I said, I don't think Ivor is going to be in any danger unless, he is rude to them or something, but he seems pretty adept.
Yeah.
Our success in hiding ourselves has not been all that it could be in the past, so...
Yours.
Mm-hmm.
Betha, Bella, and I, and everybody else, good. Now we have the tunnels on our side.
As I said, I can take you into the market if you want. That's probably the closest we can get without hiding. You can look around there. I mean, it's just a normal market, but it's a little bit nicer, and they have supplies, food, and ropes and such.
And we don't even have to hang about as a group. We can all just kind of be there looking independent and doing our own things, but on hand if needed. And if it's not needed, then, doesn't matter.
All right, then we'll plan for that. I'll bring you all up there. We would be coming out of the tunnels again to avoid the guards. Just try to avoid any guards up there. If they start questioning you, it might look suspicious if you don't have answers for who you're supposed to be. Okay, so the day is passing. Anyone doing anything?
So, Ivor, you're a traveling tradesman looking for your big break with an influential family here. If by chance guards do stop you, do you think that'd be good enough, or detail?
Well, the guards aren't going to stop him. Or if they do stop him, you can just tell them who's expecting you, and they'll probably let you through, or at least verify it. And that would be that. It's the rest of you I'm more worried about. Because, he's supposed to be up there. One of the families is expecting him. I don't think the guards will give you all trouble, especially if you look like high-class people, but never know. Oh, by the way, Beldani does confirm the path to the lava tubes. He says he didn't go in, but the maps are all correct, so we can get there. Alright, so time is passing. It's getting towards evening. And the group is going, everyone?
I'm staying behind.
Rando is also staying behind, as well as Chevreau and your Boulder Bottom buddy.
Is Gear staying behind?
Yes.
Okay.
No, he's going.
Change my mind, I'm going. So at about 6 p.m., Diddy collects everyone, and they start leading you through the tunnels towards the north. Gear, or Theo, you pretty much have the place to yourself right now. Well, almost.
Yeah. After Hours is here, but don't have the group here staring. I have the Sending Stones finished. So would head over to Gears, see what she's doing, if she looks too busy or not.
She would smile at you. It seems that she's a little bit more comfortable. And she says, "Oh, hey Theo, how's your project been going?"
I finished.
Oh, you got the Sending Stones? Nice.
I do.
Are you still giving me one of them?
Yes, I am, and I hand that over to her.
She says, "Oh, pretty. Thank you." She pockets it. Now we can always be in touch. And she smiles and blushes a little bit and says, yeah.
Yeah, we are supposed to be going to the Shadowfell soon, so I made sure it could communicate across the plains. There's still like a 5% chance the message will fail, but if you send one and you don't get a response, doesn't necessarily mean I'm dead.
He says, "Oh, have you told her you were going to the Shadowfell? This group?"
Theo casually mentions it a lot so far.
I don't know if you've told anyone in their group that yet, so she is definitely interested. She says, "Oh, what are you going to be doing in the Shadowfell? That's like a pretty magic-heavy place, isn't it? Kind of dangerous."
Apparently extremely dangerous. There's like a miasma everywhere that if you don't get within a city boundaries within a certain amount of time, you just die.
Oh.
But it's one we get a chance to see another plane of existence. But whenever we were in Isik, there were 2 Shadowlords. I don't know if you know what those are.
She shakes her head.
Thea would go into detail explaining what a Shadowlord is, and then explain some of the backstory on Gaivok and Malik.
How old is Theo again?
Yeah, mid-30s, I think.
Okay. So she listens and she seems very interested. She says, "So these are some kind of necromancers who specialize in necrotic energy?"
Yes, but they're necromancers who have gone full in on fuck morality, I just want more power.
And you fought one of these?
We technically fought 2 of them. Back to back. But Betha's a badass.
She says, "Were you able to speak with them at all, or?"
The rest of the group were able to have conversations with Gaivok, a little bit with Malik, but they didn't trust either of them at all. And Isik is the way it is, specifically because of Malik sucking the souls out of all the citizens there and putting them into stones.
I see. It sounds very exciting.
Yeah, definitely exciting is a cool way to put it. But unfortunately, Shadowlords are quite like devils and demons, where if you don't kill them on their own plane, they just come back and we've seen machinations that lead us to believe they're already getting ready to come back, and we're going to try and cut them off at the head.
She says, "Yeah, I'm exposed to danger a lot, but a very different type. I've never had to go head to head with any type of wizard or magic being, she says, if we are fighting, it usually means the plan's gone horribly wrong. She says, usually we're fighting our way out if we're in battle.
Yeah, we usually go into situations more like shock troopers.
Says, yeah, it
I
sounds
felt-
like it. Give me a persuasion check.
Oh no.
Get him.
Gonna use a de-inspiration.
Okay. Very well.
Flash of genius. Add 4. Put it at 13.
All right. So she, as I said, seems interested in all the things you're telling her. She isn't as shy. She seems to enjoy talking to you, so she's like blushing less and shying off less as you guys have your conversation.
Theo's probably cheeks blushing a lot less, but the tips of his ears are always a bit pink.
Yeah.
And then with y'all going to try and get the mold tomorrow, I wanted to loan you something that is very dear to me, but might help you out if things do go a bit awry. And he's gonna pull off.
Go ahead.
He's gonna pull off his patchwork-looking cloak and hand it to her. It's a cloak of useful items. There's a boat, a dog, a horse.
I know what this
window.
is. I've seen one of these before. She says, and all these are still unused?
I haven't really had a need for them to come off yet, and seeing as how they're only one use, I didn't want to waste them. But the window and pit in particular might help you out.
How long does the dog last?
As soon as you pull it off, he is forever. Same with the horse.
Wait, is there a dog and a horse trapped inside this thing?
I thought that too at first. I did some research into it. It's more so they are patches first, and then once the magic activates, it brings life to them. It's some interesting form of golemancy.
Oh, so they're not actually... Let me kind of talk to her about that a little. She says, well, I'm sure this can come in handy. Thank you, Theo.
Hopefully you don't need to use it, but I'd rather you have it if you need it.
She says, and if I have to use the dog, I'm keeping it, alright?
That is completely understandable. Whole reason I haven't pulled it off to have a pet now is I'm scared something's going to happen to him.
She laughs. She says, no, it was mostly a joke. Mostly. Well, thank you very much for this, Theo. I'm sure these will come in handy.
He gives a nod.
Give me another persuasion check with advantage.
Flash of genius.
So,
bring it up to 22.
Alright, so as she takes the cloak, she leans in and gives you a quick kiss and then runs away with it. And goes back to her paper shuffling. She smiles and says, thank you! Meanwhile...
Theo looks like he's been petrified. Does not know how to react.
Frozen. Meanwhile, the rest of you come out of a area of the tunnels into this new northern area. You are given an address, Ivor, as he brings the rest of them to the marketplace. He says, just go down the street north past the forge. It's pretty much right past the forge. Don't go near the forge.
Oh, thank fuck I'm not with y'all.
So I assume you're doing that. This is the forge, by the way. I'll reveal it because you could all see it. So are you going to do that, Ivor?
Go to the address?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So Ivor heads up the street a little to this address.
Before he separates from us, I am going to put Nettle into his collar.
Okay, you got a spider with you.
Oh, and did we...
We cast berries just before we came out of the hole, and tongues on you.
Okay, so you did some spell casting just as you got out of the tunnel, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, so that would have happened at about, I'll say 6:30. It's now about 6:40.
By the time I get to the
address. By the time you get to the address, yeah.
Okay.
So the spell is cast at 6:30. It's been about 10 minutes. So you go up the street to the address.
About how far is
Or
it
over here.
from where we're going to be chilling? Like more than what is it, 100 feet for unfamiliar?
It's
For familiar sight.
700 feet.
So it's like
Yeah.
2,000 feet down the block a
Oh,
bit.
okay. So, alright.
It's a little ways.
Okay.
Remind me some other time. Make a little brooch holder that Nettle can slip into while in spider form.
Nettle
Spider
brooch, spider pocket.
Make it look like he's a jeweler.
So what do
If you
you
could stand still for that long.
what do you look like right now, Ivor? Still a dark dwarf?
Yeah, I believe it
Oh
would
yeah, I
have.
would have cast seeming again on us.
Yeah.
I would make him look like whatever he told me to look like, that he wanted to look like, and everybody else I would give like upper middle class civilian garb.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if you came up with a specific look for your Underdark persona.
I
But
think that I probably would. I'm trying to decide if I would have done it the same way as we did for when I was talking to Mormuk in the tavern, but probably not. Probably would have done it a little bit differently. So this
I
guy.
mean, it could make you similarly nondescript, but
I would say
not
right
look
now.
insane.
Yeah, I would say right now because we're in sort of a nicer neighborhood. I will keep his clothing will be probably consistent with the niceties that everybody else has, but as far as his features, we'll say that he has a pretty like well groomed beard, and like he. I'm trying to describe the aesthetic that I have like in my head. I'm thinking of like I don't know, sort of like a Romani thing, like with like the eyeliner and stuff. Like I don't know who I'm thinking of. Oh, the image I have in my head is fucking Jason Momoa from Game of Thrones. That's what I was thinking of. But yeah,
Drogo?
yes,
Drogo, yeah.
but made dwarven. So
So
really, he just has
nice clothes, but like a Jack Sparrow eyeliner or something.
yeah, something like that. Yep.
Okay,
Extra.
interesting.
He is
Exotic.
exotic. That's the word that I would use for it.
So
yeah.
bright, light blue eyes. That way they really pop.
Absolutely not. Well,
You going into discussions and
green,
stuff.
green eyes.
Hypnotize them with the eyes.
It is definitely not common for deep dwarves to have blue or green eyes. Like they're always like mostly
Is it
darker
unheard
colors.
of, though?
I mean,
we'll keep the eyes consistent with.
Wait, really? I would think Durgar would have blue eyes more often because it's better for low light.
do they? I don't know. I
No,
just
That's
lighter
just me
eyes are
thinking about
normally
real world
more light-
science.
Lighter eyes are normally more light sensitive.
Yee.
I believe they mostly have darker colors.
They're also
so maybe like a
gray
darker
and
blue.
stuffs.
Yeah.
I think most of the monster blocks have like no fucking pupils or irises. They're just fucking white. So
Yeah.
well, whatever is consistent with Dwargar, that's what will have the eyes be. But as far as
But
like
a little bit exotic.
features, yeah, just like only like slightly exotic, like exotic with a taste, like understated, but
Alright.
Yeah, not like people would stare at you in the street, but like as you pass, people might like turn
Like,
around.
oh,
to
who's that guy?
check you out. They give you a really nice butt too.
Sculpted.
Oh yeah, all these guys are like gray or just white eyes.
Yeah, most
Yeah,
of
so
the
that's what I'll do.
it's similar to the drow where it's I guess well some of the things have darker eyes. But anyway, give me I guess Zalia, give me a nature check to craft your
Nature?
exotic to kind of know what is
Shouldn't
exotic
it be
for
like
dwarves.
performance? Because don't actually. Nature's just fine, thank you.
It's kind of knowing what an exotic dwager might look like.
how do you make an exotic deep dwarf?
Yeah,
You should
The
have asked
moment
Theo
when I
before you left.
Remember that I have int, but not charisma. Okay, nature you say.
Yeah, it would definitely be int-based because it would be your knowledge of... so yeah, you think you do a pretty good job. He looks exotic, but also believable as a Dweger. Alright, so Ivor, you head up the street into this kind of like a larger... or area with larger houses. There's a bunch of guards up here. It looks like as you approach the address, two of the Dweger guards walk down to the gate. One of them says, is your name? And he says your name.
And I think I actually did. Yeah, now that I think about it, I did give them my name for the rumoring. So
You did, yeah.
So even though I look different, my name here is also Traubon. I did not think about that when I was talking to what's his face, but yeah.
Luckily, he is not big on rumors as a guard. Although the bartender might recognize the name later. Didn't at the time. Traubon, right?
That is correct, yes, sir.
He says, alright. Do you have any weapons on you?
No weapons.
He says, well, we're going to take a quick look, and they start searching you. Are you going to let them?
Yeah, I'll let them. The only thing that I do have is my cane, which I'm using as a walking stick.
Are you making it look like you need your cane to walk, or are you just kind of using it as a walking stick?
Just kind of using it as a walking stick, sort of like just as like a decorative one, yeah.
So he goes to examine your cane, if you let him.
I will definitely let him take a look at it, but I probably will not relinquish it if that is what he is attempting to do.
Yeah, he basically is trying to take it from you to like examine it closely.
I will hold it up in my hands, but retain a grip on it.
Okay. So this cane, I forget, does it open up?
It does not.
No.
Is it like a sword cane or something? It's just a cane?
No.
Just a cane,
Okay.
yep.
Well, it's
really
not just a
expensive.
cane. It's not a weapon, but it's not just a cane.
Allegedly.
Got buttons and stuff.
Okay. So he nods. He seems happy with that, looking at the cane, and he will motion for you to follow him.
I will give him
says-
a nod and
Yeah.
What?
He says, as you're walking, he's like, yeah, can't be too careful. There are a lot of assassins about from the Underdark, and the Pitchfires are not the most liked family within the city.
I understand that. Perhaps not as well as you do, but I've had my fair share of encounters with the the criminal sort.
Okay. So he brings you up through the front door into the larger area of the house, where he meets with another individual who walks up to you and looks at you and begins to cast something.
Oh shit.
Are you going to do or say anything? But he does, like, the guy basically just walks towards you and starts using some kind of magic.
Well, I don't think that I have a way to circumvent anything that somebody else wants to do.
Talk him out of it.
I guess I could, but
Punch him right in the face. Bap. Ow,
I
what
think
the...
she said talk him, not knock him.
Oh, I thought she says knock him out of it. It's
Yeah,
whack.
that's what I thought too, and then went, that's not very Azalea.
I guess
It's
do I
deafening.
have? Is there any
Caster!
get him?
Get him!
Am I able to glean any sort of information about what kind of spell this might be based on how it is beginning to be cast?
Give me an Arcana check.
It's either detect magic or finger of death.
I
Yeah,
think
one,
it's
one,
probably
one of those. You're not sure.
or dispel magic, which could be fun.
So he finishes his spell looking at you. He would say, you got some auras on you. What are you wearing?
Oh, I'm wearing many things, some of them which may make their way into your hands if you find that they are of interest. That is, after all, why am I here, is it not?
He nods. He says, "Do you have any? Do you have any magics?" He concentrates a little bit. What effects do you have on you? I know you have the change.
Okay.
You have the seeming. What else do you have on you?
Oh, this is actually pretty neat because the seeming would mask. Well, actually, I don't have to have disguise self up because of the seeming. So I have.
Seems cool though, isn't it?
Yeah. So I have an amulet of health, which would show. Boots of Elvenkind would show. The cane would show.
I more meant like, do you have tongues and do you have
He's got enhanced ability, tongues, and seeming from me.
Okay.
Which I believe are. They may all be abjuration.
So he would say, in case you got any charm stuff on you, I'm gonna get rid of your magic effects. Not your magical items, just your spells.
Charm stuff. What do you mean by this? Things that, like, entities which are charming me?
He says things that would enhance your ability to negotiate.
Ah, yes. Very prudent. Is there a way for me? I don't think that there is.
Though you realize if he casts a spell, the spell magic gets rid of all effects, right?
No, it's just one target.
thought it just
One spell
focused
Oh,
effect.
is it?
one,
Is
yeah.
it just one?
Yeah, it's one at a time.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, it's. I believe it's all of the effects on one target.
That's what I thought.
Is
it
that what it
was.
is?
I think
Yes.
so.
Oh,
And I got gypped in another game.
yeah. I thought, honestly, I thought it was something. I thought it was from one of Lou's rulings. I had come to understand that you had to like target a specific aura or effect. I could have misunderstood. That's how I had understood something at one point. Yeah.
Let me see.
Okay,
so
yeah. So I think it would do. Yeah, I think it would do. So anything that's third or lower would end, and then for everything else, he would need a separate check for everything else.
Yeah. So
Do you know when you're making checks on Dispel Magic? Like if he realizes that he has to make 3 checks for high level magic and fails them all for some reason?
well, he would see the auras are still on you.
Oh,
so
that's true.
He would know that you still have certain auras.
Okay. Well, yeah. As he mentions this, then since I have no real recourse, I will just say, very well, very prudent of you. I suppose that I have no particular way to say no. Nor do I have any reason necessarily why I should.
So, what level is tongues?
Tongues is...
Because I assume if
3, I
you
think.
wiped that, you wouldn't be able to talk to them anymore.
Not unless they speak.
Yeah, that would be bad.
Or you could ask him about that. I don't know if you want to
Well, we
reveal
have
that
the
you don't speak
mind
Dwarven.
link, don't we? We have the mind link, don't we?
He's got rares up too, yeah.
So, Zalia, could you just cancel the enhance ability so that he can say, let me just dismiss it. Is this better? And see if that satisfies the guy?
I don't think that you have the option of dropping enhance ability.
Oh yeah, you do. It's a
it's not-
concentration.
Oh, it's concentration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
she
actually, yes, that is exactly what I would do. I was looking for a way that I could drop it. So what I'll do, yes, is as he says this, that he is looking for ways to make sure that I don't have any sort of charm on me. I'll respond instead of what I had said, and I'll say, very perceptive of you. I do have, as they call it, eagle's splendor on me. It is the transmutation that you observe. One moment while I cease it, and I'll communicate telepathically to
He
Zalia.
smiles and says, "I can't blame you for trying."
And I can't blame you for finding it out.
Give
Hey, I don't
me-
want to request Zalia to drop it.
Okay.
I will drop it.
All right. Give me. He says, "And what about these others?" He says, "I'm not your items. Those are fine. I just mean the auras on you yourself."
Oh, yes, of course. One of them allows me to simply speak more languages. You never know who it is that you will find yourself interacting with. And I don't know that... Would telepathic bond...
So tongues is divination. Seeming is seeming is illusion, and rares is divination also.
Right. Since rares is a mental thing, do you think that that would create an aura or no?
Probably. It's still an effect on you. He would say, what's the illusion about?
The illusion is to make myself prettier. I was in an accident some time ago that left me, well, less attractive than I would like to have been, and many people were scared off by my appearance.
Give me a deception.
It's a shame that I don't have enhance ability anymore.
It's a shame.
Fucking shame. We might have to dump the fucking Dark One's own luck here pretty quick.
Okay.
Yeah, this is pretty important. Fuck, everything's important. God. Yeah, he seems... I mean, a guy who's going to cast Detect Magic on you as soon as you walk in the room is not gonna fall for a 13, so...
Well, maybe. I mean, being able to read someone is not the same as being a caster. It's intelligence versus
That's true.
Wisdom.
That's true. I mean, I can talk to people, but I can't read anybody. Still, though, we'll send that.
So 16. He nods. He says, "All right, that's fine. Well, I think you're good. No weapons. None of these auras give me any worry. You're not talking to someone outside, are you?"
No.
Give me another deception. Says that's the only thing I could really think of. Oh, jeez.
Sick.
Do you have another dark one?
I don't. Nope, that's a once a short rest.
Oh, well, apparently he believes you. He nods and says, all right, well, I'll bring you upstairs. No cast-in or any sudden movements, or else you're going to get filled with crossbow bolts. Got it?
Message received.
This is, pretty much standard fare for negotiations like these. So he leads you up to the top of the stairs through a door, and an older-looking dwarf is sitting there. He gets up and smiles, putting his hands together. What was your character's name? Or what was the fake name you used?
Traubon.
Says, Traubon, it's good to finally meet you. I hope my wizards and guards weren't too rough with you. Says, I'm Osmorn Pitchfire at your service.
Osmorn, it is a pleasure to meet you. Your guards and wizard were no rougher than they had to be. I find it very comforting that they were as prudent as they were. It gives me great faith in my ability to deal with you in these delicate interactions.
He looks to the wizard, who nods, and he says, a couple of enchantments, nothing concerning, and no weapons. And he nods to you, and he says, well, I'm excited about the wares you may have brought to trade, or the possibility of you bringing other ones, as I assume you don't just carry all your magical items around the city. He laughs.
I will laugh with him and I'll say, ha, absolutely not. What kind of arms trader would I be if I carried everything on me at once? That's a good way to find yourself out of business immediately.
He says, you'd be a dead one. And he laughs again, and the two guards kind of laugh with him as they walk out. They close the door, and he says, let me get you something. What do you drink? You look like a shroom whiskey kind of guy. I don't know what shroom whiskey is.
I was gonna say, does this sound like a thing that I've heard of before? Is this a legitimate drink?
It sounds delicious.
I don't know, maybe. I mean, there's a lot of mushrooms
real peaty
underground.
taste.
That's
it's
true.
very umami whiskey.
I'll say, I did have a shroom ale in the tavern earlier today, and it was quite delicious. So I tell you what, I'll just have whatever you're having. If it's good for you, it's good for me.
That's sounds good. And he rings a bell. Give me a persuasion check. Yeah, so he rings a bell. Servant comes in with the drink thing. He takes the shroom whiskey and pours 2 glasses. He says, "I've heard really good things about you. You're from the deep, yes?"
That is correct.
He says, "You came up recently. What clan are you with, if you don't mind me asking? I know your first name. I don't know much about your family."
Honestly, I don't know much about my family either. It's been, when I grew up without one, and I've been traveling for so long that I don't necessarily call any clan family. I live on the road, and I don't necessarily have one city that I call home either.
He says, self-made. I can respect that. He says, one has to be quite clever to make your way up without status or family. He says, especially if you got the type of items that they say you have. He says, just out of curiosity, I had heard that you were a trader in some rare illithid items. Is that correct?
Oh, that may be true. That is, I have some items that I would consider rare illithid items. I also have many items which do not have any sort of illithid association, but which themselves are also quite rare.
He says, are you looking for gold or to make some kind of trade?
Well, I find that what I am looking for often best reveals itself to me once negotiations are afoot. I was hoping perhaps you could tell me what sort of interesting things that you had which might be worth my time. Sometimes I trade for gold, but gold is, as they say, fairly common. But finding other magic items, well, that's always interesting. Items, artifacts. I imagine a family like yours may have some very old and very interesting things which, while not magical, may still be interesting. So many options are on the table, depending on how they strike me.
Says, a dwarf after my own heart. I have a feeling I'm going to enjoy our interactions, but dislike the trade that comes out of them. I can tell I'm going to lose something good to you, but I'm hoping I gain something even better. I assume you'd spend some time talking.
Or just schmooze him.
Yeah, he schmoozes a bit. He kind of tells you a bit about some of the things he's kind of looking for. Maybe talks a bit about his family. It's getting late, so he says, would you like to have some dinner? I assume you're going to be staying a bit as we discuss things.
When he brought in the shroom whiskey, did he have some also?
He poured 2 glasses and you each had one.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that he was drinking the thing that I was drinking, because if he had not had a sip, I was also not going to have a sip, because who knows?
You have to switch the glasses because you might have coated the inside of your glass with it.
Fuck.
You haven't built up your resistance to iocane powder?
Yeah.
It's shrooms.
Shroom poison.
You're about to start tripping, bro.
I don't want to talk about it. Last time I was tripping, somebody died in it, and I didn't even kill him.
Oh yeah. Aw.
Oh.
Too soon.
I will respond and say, well, okay, hold on. What time did we... No, that was a different day. Yes, okay. So I'll say...
it's been about, let's see. So it is about 6... I'll say 6... maybe 7. It's been about 20 minutes of schmoozing. He says, asks if you want dinner, to discuss stuff more over food. So it's about 7 o'clock right now.
I will respond and I'll say... Well, I'm never averse to a good meal, but typically I find that I enjoy it more once a valuable exchange has been struck. I enjoy, if at all possible, to speak of business as business, and then perhaps we can have a meal as friends.
Give me a persuasion. Says, right to business. I suppose I can respect that. So, sure, let's lock down the trade first then. What sort of item are you looking to trade for exactly? He says, you said you wanted to see what I have?
Indeed. Are there any sort of magical items that you think might be worth trading? And do you have any rare artifacts that you think might be worth trading?
He says there's a few things in my family. I'd have to know more about what you're trading, though, so I can see what would be of equal value.
Yeah, yep. I'll say... yes. Never want to show your hand too early anyway. What say, I'll open negotiations with a possible item, and you can let me know what sort of things you would be interested in trading for that. And if we do not find the deal interesting, then we can move on to another item. How would that suit you?
Says that would suit me just fine.
Okay. We'll suss him out.
Offer up the staff, see if he knows what masterwork is or not.
Well, he's not going to... Well, I could ask him. Okay. So first I'll say... Okay. First let us consider these. And I will pull out 5 scrolls. And I will say, here we have a collection of very rare scrolls of various sorts of evocation and abjurate, or hold on, what is tongues? Hang on a minute. Divination, yep. Here we have various scrolls of evocation magics and divination magics. They are what I would consider scrolls of a middling strength. They are considerably more powerful than your novice wizard would have access to, and certainly couldn't have penned. But they're also no apocalyptic spells, of course. If I had access to those, I probably would be sitting on a beach somewhere.
Talk about
He laughs.
penmanship.
The penmanship!
The penmanship. What's the highest level? Well, what level spells are you displaying right now?
There are 2 of them are 3rd level spells, and 3 of them are 2 level spells.
So, I think those are all uncommon, but let me double check.
That's correct.
Yes, they are.
He seems kind of... Give me a persuasion with disadvantage. He seems a little bored by them.
He doesn't like your appetizer.
Well, he's not a wizard either, so...
He's supposed to be bored by them. It's all working according to plan.
So, yeah, he seems a little bored by them. He says, scrolls. I can get someone to write me most of the lower level spells. No, nothing here is worth anything. Do you have anything a little bit more rare?
That is a good question. Let me put these away one moment, please. I'll tuck them away. Definitely not considering any of those. Can't take those off or he'll see.
I think I did give you the hat of vermin, by the way.
Oh, I'm not trying to get shot.
Just saying.
I got this rat, or I got this hat. Lets you talk to rats.
Does it let you talk to them?
Summon rats.
Or summon rats.
Them.
Yeah, it just lets you summon them.
They just run everywhere.
You want some rats in your house?
We still have the ingredients to make another game. Except for the ruby.
Mm-hmm. Okay. He did say something more rare. A wink, wink. So, okay. Here's
rare.
Man, I really like that thing. But
No.
okay, so what I'll say is, very well. I do have a few more items which are perhaps of a similar rarity, but which are more interesting than scrolls. But I can see that you are a man with a keen eye, so let me draw your attention to this.
So
And I will.
he will say, "I'm gonna stop you for a moment. I will just say that most there are merchants who come through the city selling many of the more common magical items." He says one of the main reasons you piqued my interest was because you were supposedly a purveyor of very rare items. So that's what I'm looking for in case you're gonna pull out more scrolls or something.
No, no, no more scrolls. I do have, of course, as you are hesitant to show all of your wares, so must I be. But I do have an item which is considerably more valuable than these, and I will take off my necklace, and I will say, here we have an amulet of health. It is quite rare, and this amulet is powerful enough that it can make even the most sickly man strong.
He looks. Give me an insight check.
This man really wants that fucking ring.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
So he sort of looks away for a moment, which is kind of odd to you. And then he kind of looks back at you and says, "Well, that's better, but still nothing that I'm very interested in getting." He says, "I'm already in fairly good health. What else do you have? Anything more rare than that?"
well, now we are getting to the really good stuff. If you don't mind me taking a moment to ask, what sort of things do you think that you have which would be valuable enough to consider things more rare than an amulet of health? In my life, I have only ever seen this one. Which is not to say that I do not have better things, but as I've said, I can't go around showing all my things to everybody.
So he kind of looks you over. He says, "Are you looking for something useful to you or something magic and rare?"
Both, I think.
He says, "I assume you do a lot of business, having to talk to people a lot."
I do.
Let me see.
Jarva, this is where your prediction's gonna come in.
Uh-huh.
Jarva is predicting that you're gonna
Hey,
come
hey,
back
hey!
with some. Okay.
Saying it ruins it.
All right, all right.
Do you have a character on the party chat in the Discord?
Do I have a character on
Like
the
No,
party?
he's never
Okay.
put his
Oh, in the
chat.
channel? No.
I was gonna look at your wish list. Alright.
Ah,
So, okay. I think he knows what you'd want, but let me just look it up real quick.
I can't make a wish list or Lou might have a heart attack.
Didn't you make
Have
one?
a heart attack.
No!
Oh, alright.
It's only really one item.
Thing
Well,
that
two
turns you into a dragon.
you got
Yeah.
a red dragon mask in there.
Oh
I'll
no,
take
it's
one of those. Oh, I'm
the-
talking about for me. That shit
Oh
would
yeah.
fucking
Oh yeah.
slap.
So he would snap his fingers, and the servant would come in, and he would whisper something to him, and the servant nods, leaves, and would come back a few minutes later with a very old-looking tome. He says, "This right here will improve your ability to speak and deal with others. It will actually raise your natural prowess in discussion. He says it has not been used yet. I was saving it for possibly using myself, but it is a tome of leadership and influence.
Ah, very, very valuable indeed. Well then, let me put this necklace away, as I can see that we are speaking on different levels, and I would hate to offend. Give me one moment. I'll slip it back on.
He says, wow me with some of your better wares.
Of course, of course.
Do you remember the name of it?
The
ring?
Oh,
Because it is a legendary named item.
of course.
Well, named item.
Right. It's called Mind Storm, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So then, I'll put the necklace back on,
Okay.
and I will pull out my box. Are we seated at a table, or what's the
You're kind of sitting on a comfy couch with just drinks
Like a
around, like a table there.
like a little coffee table type thing?
Squishy, right at the wrong height for your knees.
Love it. Okay, I will take out the fancy box that Theo made, and I will say, inside this box, I have perhaps the most unique thing that I have had the pleasure of coming across in my lifetime as a rare goods dealer, and I believe it is this thing which has garnered my attention in the first place. When we first began speaking, you had mentioned something about illicit artifacts, yes?
He nods, becoming more excited.
He's like leaning forward.
I'm like, oh, what do we have here?
What is this?
Inside this box, I have a ring, which I believe is called Mind Storm, and it is a ring of great power to the Illithids and of great historic value. Is that the sort of thing you think you would be interested in?
He says, now you're starting to speak my language. Yes, I would definitely be interested in that. He says, what do you want for it, exactly?
Well, certainly I think that this tome is a step in the right direction. And okay, so the map, is it a
Blueprints?
map they were trying to get? Blueprints, that's what it is. Remind me what the blueprints are for? Are they for the vault?
Yeah.
They are for the forge area, where he believes there's a secret door to bypass the forge.
Oh.
Instead of us having to walk straight through where every
Where all the
giant's going to
giants
be
are.
looking at us, be like,
Well,
what you doing?
Or hopefully there will be less giants because your distraction will have hopefully pulled some of them away. But yeah, he believes it's a good way to bypass the forge area where most of the action would be.
Right, okay. So what I'll say is this. I'll say, this tome certainly is a very strong step in the right direction. And due to its rarity, I would not likely ask for another magic item to in addition to it. But I do find myself very fascinated with this city, and I was wondering if you could provide me with some sort of non-magical but historically significant relic or artifact or something of that nature that I might have that might be valuable for a monetary price to the right people in the right places. These forges, for example, I find them quite interesting. I've never seen anything quite like them, and I was wondering if you had anything that might pertain to the nature of their creation or construction or something like that. That might be very interesting to somebody who considers themselves a history buff.
Give me a deception first.
You have any
He seems a little suspicious. Give me a persuasion check.
do you have any advantages?
Inspiration?
No, nope. I used
Yeah,
the
that's what I
last.
meant.
I used the
Can I
last
give
one.
him an inspiration?
No, you can't trade them back and forth.
Damn it. Well, I definitely have done some
I need mine for flirting.
journals for him.
Uh-oh. She's ratting you out.
No,
So
he
he's
knows.
definitely intrigued. Maybe a little suspicious of your ask, though. He says, well, if you speak of the Great Forges, there are 5 of them, one in each part of the city. Is there a particular one you are interested in?
It's the north one, right? Is that the one that
The
we're
middle
interested in?
one.
The middle one.
The one in the center where the temple is, or the vault is, that you're going to break into. Because the
So how are the other
forge is
ones?
kind of
Oh,
inside
these are the ones. The things that are in each section.
Yeah.
Like with. Okay, that's right. That's right.
And
Big
there's-
triangle things with a chimney on top.
There's one
Right,
in the
no, but I was
center
thinking about
too.
the
It's
whole
just
map.
inside the vault building.
Okay. I'll say. Well, the ones that I've seen seem to be pretty similar in construction, so I don't know that I need or would be interested in having more than one. But let us say the central one seems the most significant and might be the most interesting and might be the most unique, maybe.
Give me another deception check. Okay.
There?
So he scratches his chin as if thinking for a moment. He says, "So you wish to trade this this ring for the book and something to do with a forge, if I'm reading you correctly."
I think that sounds like a very good deal to me. And I tell you what, if the... Well, I don't mean to make any assumptions about your finances. I'm sure they're very well in order, but if we need to sweeten the deal a little bit on your end, perhaps that is something that can be an option as well. And of course, this depends on if you have anything with respect to the forges anyway.
Give me an insight check. Because he's now kind of... You can definitely... you don't know if he's suspicious of you, but something's changed as he kind of eyes you curiously. He says... I do have something that that might be of interest that deals with the center main city forge. It could be quite valuable to someone who is particularly inclined, if you get my meaning.
He wants to date you.
I'm like, do I get his meaning? Oh, he
He's winking.
probably no. He knows he
He knows you're
no,
gonna.
he knows no. He
He's
knows why I'm
suspicious.
asking.
Yeah.
He's definitely you. Yeah, if you had better insight, you'd know he's very suspicious.
Yeah. I'll say. Well, that might be just the sort of thing that people I know might be interested in.
Yes. People you know. I see. He says, well, I can tell you that there is quite a bit of value to the right person for what I have. And he looks around, suddenly thinking about something. He says, you know what? I haven't shown you any of my finer ales. Why don't we move this conversation to a different place?
How much time has passed?
It's probably about 7:10 at this point, so another 10 minutes.
Okay. I'll say, you know what, that sounds like a fine idea. I have delayed your hospitality once already. I would not be averse to taking a look at some finer ales, particularly if they are at least as good as the shroom ale that I had in the tavern. That was quite good.
Oh, I can guarantee these ales will be quite delectable. Come with me. And actually, this might be a good place to stop.
Yeah.
So we are at 8:30.
This is where Ivor gets shanked in the closet or something?
Yeah. Shank. No. If only he had more insight.
Insight. Yep. Lesson learned.
But it's okay.
Oh, crap!
It makes
they would have...
makes it more interesting to have to overcome adversities.
It does. Yep. That was definitely one thing that I realized after. Like, 'cause I think Ivor was the first time that I ever came into a game assuming that I would face, and I was like, "No, we'll just get all the charisma skills and call it good." And I was like, "Well, look."
Whoops.
Turns out.
Alright, let me get MVP votes. And the good thing is we'll have Beldani back next week for the actual heist.
Yes!
Nice.
And Theo half successfully flirted.
And who knows, maybe a sixth player. Usually the evening games are pretty easy to fill. So Ivor with 3 votes, your MVP.
Amazing. Thank you.
It's
I will-
unanimous.
Oh, it is. Yes. I will spend that probably immediately.
First roll next game.
Cover it to some dumb shit.
I wasn't doing that to metagaming, make sure like Ivor had inspiration. Genuinely. Good job. Wow.
I mean, that wasn't the only reason I voted for him, but I did assume that was gonna be how it was used.
Alright, Lou, you have one above board player at least.
Yeah.
Looking-
No, it's fine. I mean, like I said, you can vote for someone for any reason you want.
Yeah. Looking back, I maybe man, geez, these are pretty bad. I maybe didn't need to use my Dark One Zone luck at when I did, but that is.
I just wish I could have been in there with you to like do Flash of Genius or Bath in spider form to like mind link to you and help with insight, but then they would have detected her damn near right off the bat.
You have
Yeah,
a
well, there's
creature in
also
your pocket. What is
they
that?
probably wouldn't let the whole group into the house. They'd been like, why would we want everyone to come in? We're just talking to this guy.
Oh yeah, I still need to make artificial lungs so I can stay in somebody's bag of holding if need be.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Celia's about to start whispering to you that you're going to lose your ability to talk in a minute. So.
Yeah, as soon as I hear that, I'm gonna request an upsies from fuck, what's his name? I want to say Chive, and that's not right.
No.
Nettle?
I'm
no,
way
I was
too far
gonna.
away to do that.
So,
right now.
Oh yeah, shit. 'cause I have to do
Betha's gonna suggest via the mind link that that maybe Zalia and I should start walking like we've been
Yeah,
shopping around the
for
market.
sure.
And we like start walking like we're leaving the market carrying our purchases and kind of try and walk by the house. And when we're near the house, Betha's gonna like, I don't know, get uppity about something and talk kind of loud so that you can like mutter your spell.
Yeah. We'll see how that goes over.
Yeah, I don't know. That was what I was gonna suggest.
I'm all
but I
for
don't know.
muttering the spell, but
I'm not sure
you
if it's a
know.
good plan, but that's what I was going to suggest.
gotta find an alleyway out back or something.
Get in the sewers underneath the house.
I'm gonna create the dome right in the middle of the street so I can climb in and do my spell.
Not at all suspicious.
Don't be suspicious.
Crap!
Don't be
Well, no. I was about to say I could rope trick to make you space to cast, but then you're in a pocket dimension and won't be able to properly cast them.
Yeah, that wouldn't work. I can cast darkness first. While people are trying to figure it out. I'll
Cast darkness and then start yelling another spell and make them just like, what the fuck's happening?
and then run for it. Hey, I'm not above it.
Oh yeah, the night before we're supposed to do the distraction stuff. Please, somebody remind me. Prepare Skyrite.
Can,
Need that to lure giants in.
can Ivor give us an idea of like what part of the house he is in via the mind link?
How big is
Yeah.
that house, actually?
It's a fairly large, like, estate. Are you looking for like an actual size or like an idea of it?
Do you think that there's any part of the house that is...
To go within 100 feet?
Yeah, well, do you think there's any part of the house that you couldn't get to within
Or a
100
window?
radius of? Like, is it? I guess
Doesn't
what,
matter, because he's about to wall you up down in the basement like the Cask of the Amontillado
Yep.
after he steals your illicit finger.
And you're
Wahahaha.
Steals her illicit finger. Do you have the finger?
nope.
no fingers would say
Yeah,
yeah.
we just have the ring. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I meant to say the ring. Yeah.
Gotcha.
He's gonna steal your
Even
finger,
better
but
if it
leave
was
the
just a
really
ring.
powerful ring.
Yeah, I'm just taking your finger.
I can use this later for a ritual. Ha
Exactly.
ha! I was waiting to see if they like dispelled his
I
like,
thought that's
illusion.
who was casting.
I'm
I was-
shocked that you got through there with 2 of your 3 spells.
Genuinely, I would have loved to see their reaction if they do dispel magic to get rid of your form, and then they just see a devil in front of them, like, oh fuck.
Well, then I'll just say, like, you know,
Want to make
I
a
really-
deal?
I really wasn't
Yeah.
kidding when I said I was black market.
Or the next part of myself look a little more attractive.
I mean, who knows? He might. If we're going to, if he has like an ale cellar, and he is like a posh dwarf, I wouldn't be surprised if he has like a room with dispel magic on it. But we'll find out.
Oh, an
Anti-magic
intimate
room?
one.
Yeah. Seeing as how he's talking about he could get spell scrolls and stuff from somebody else to make them, you know, that
Probably
Yeah.
the homie that fucking scanned me when I came in.
shit. Crap, we can't have this happen right after Wednesday.
That's right. I got 420 backups.
I got
I'm
yelled
not.
at whenever I talked about backups.
Yeah, I'm gonna yell at you again,
I got...
but I'm too tired right now. Alright, guys.
Yeah,
It was a
Lou,
good
we
game.
had a prime example of why you don't go alone somewhere, even if you think it's super safe.
Why not?
Because you get mauled by a fucking werewolf
Oh, yeah, I
But
guess
you-
that
while
can
you're in
happen.
Magic
while you're in
weapons.
police custody.
Yeah, I guess that can happen.
I wouldn't say mauled as much as I would say murdered.
Yeah.
I would say mauled. Fucking werewolf. It's a goddamn wild animal on steroids.
She's so lucky I didn't have my hammer. She looked out. I would have definitely made her hurt a little bit before I got
I just
disemboweled.
assume you guys are talking about your other game.
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
completely alone, trapped in a room with a super powerful magic user and a fucking werewolf. And I had 0 weapons, armor, spellcasting focus, anything. And you
He
can't
says that
smite
like
with
you
your
didn't
fist.
take all that stuff off in order to go into the room, which he did.
I didn't want them to just be able to take my shit, so I left everything with y'all, being like, hammer.
Mind you, this all comes from the fact that he got drunk and wandered off to look at the stars by himself the night before, and then ended up next to a dead guy.
Well, full on, it's a situation. Hill is freaking out, so he tried to find somewhere that is walls upon walls upon walls between him and the outside world, and in a cell seems like the most walls. That was my mentality behind why Hill made that decision.
And if I was in that situation, an interrogation room is the last place I would want to be, specifically because you can't get out.
Yep.
He never thinks about the getting out. He
Oh, I know.
would just
I
try
know
and
he
dig
doesn't.
deeper. Yeah, it's one of those situations like I just got fucked over from being by myself, but I'm gonna do it again because this is genuinely something he would do with the premise that's been set up with him. And
Yep.
it,
TLDR,
I didn't
come
even
here.
think about that.
It's shenanigans is what it is.
I keep separating myself to let things
Isn't
happen.
it always shenanigans?
Yep.
Oh
Alright,
god.
I'm out. Good night, you guys. Thank you.
Yep.
See you next week.
See you next week.